The Oversight Committee also hearing graphic testimony from a doctor who responded to the mass shooting at a Texas school and an 11-year-old girl who survived it. Zanetta Everhart's son survived the massacre at a New York supermarket, but has multiple gunshot wounds.
No citizen needs an AR-15. These weapons are designed to do the most harm in the least amount of time.
One gun rights advocate whose son was killed at a party telling lawmakers gun control didn't save him. The Justice Department announcing a team of 9 people to help review the law enforcement response to the school shooting in Uvalde, Texas. An FBI official and former police chiefs are part of the group. President Biden condemning a man accused of making threats against Supreme Court Justice Brett Kavanaugh. The court says the suspect was armed when he was arrested outside Kavanaugh's Maryland home overnight.
We're told the suspect is from California. I'm told he is in his 20s. Still no name released, but we are told via several law enforcement sources this man had a knife and a gun. He did not make it on the property of the Kavanaugh home, but we're told there was some sort of clear intent that he wanted to inflict harm either on Justice Kavanaugh or members of his family, or both.
Fox's David Spond. Justices have had added security after a leaked draft opinion on abortion. Republican Senator Ben Sasse says political violence is un-American. The White House statement says any threats of violence or attempts to intimidate justices have no place in our society. It's now a sell-off on Wall Street after a mixed morning. The Dow's down 237 points. America is listening to Fox News.
I tend to second-guess dinners with friends because they're often interrupted by diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or oily stools. It turns out I have EPI, or exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, which means I'm missing the enzymes needed to digest food. My doctor prescribed Creon, pancrelipase, an oral prescription medication that replaces pancreatic digestive enzymes. Creon treats EPI due to cystic fibrosis, chronic pancreatitis, pancreatectomy, or other conditions.
Creon may increase your chance of fibrosing colonopathy, a rare bowel disorder. Tell your doctor if you have a history of intestinal blockage or scarring or thickening of your bowel wall, if you're allergic to pork, or if you have gout, kidney problems, or worsening of painful swollen joints. Call your doctor if you have any unusual or severe gastrointestinal symptoms or allergic reactions. Take Creon as directed by your doctor and always with food. Do not chew capsules, as this may cause mouth irritation. Other side effects may include blood sugar changes, gas, dizziness, sore throat, and cough. These are not all the side effects of Creon.
Creon is the #1 prescribed EPI treatment. Ask your doctor about Creon for EPI and visit Creon.com or call 800-633-9110 to learn more. That's CREON.
Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling weather with Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Scattered showers and thunderstorms still in place as we go through our Wednesday afternoon with a mix of clouds and sunshine and some gusty winds. 1 or 2 storms could be on the strong side. The high hanging around 80 degrees. Tonight, clear skies, 70s this evening, 60 for the overnight low. Thursday's beautiful day, sunny and nice, 80 with more scattered showers and thunderstorms during the day on Friday with a dynamite weekend on the way. This is 97.1 FM Talk, Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
The Mark Cox Morning Show.
Despite being falsely accused, I'm relieved that justice ultimately prevailed in my case.
Michael Sussman there gloating a little bit, I guess you could say, because he was found not guilty of the same thing that they found General Flynn guilty of.
Weekdays from 5 to 9 a.m.
The network, several of them jumped on this because they could say it was a stinging defeat for John Durham. Well, who's John Durham?
They haven't covered it at all.
On 97.1 FM Talk.
This is Judge Mike Carter. As the judge for Wentzville and an attorney, I've had the honor of working with Lincoln County Prosecutor Mike Wood and St. Charles Prosecutor Tim Lomar. We all share a great respect for the rule of law and keeping our families and communities safe. Cori Bush, AOC, and the others demanding to defund the police don't have a clue. As your next Republican state senator, I'll oppose those who want to defund our police and tie the hands of our law enforcement. As a judge, I know firsthand how dedicated our law enforcement professionals are. Our police and sheriff's deputies put their lives on the line every day to keep our families and communities safe. They will know that as your state senator, Mike Carter has their back. I'll also protect our Second Amendment rights and see that strong laws are in place to dissuade those who think they can come here from St. Louis or elsewhere to break in your car or home. I'm Mike Carter, and I want to earn your vote to be your next Republican state senator. Go to MikeCarter.com to learn more. Paid for by Team Mike Carter.
Sonic Slam 2022, starring Cinderella's Tom Keeper. With LA Guns and Faster Pussycat.
Friday, June 17th, 7 p.m., the Family Arena. Tickets on sale now at Ticketmaster. Sonic Slam.
Warrant Cherry Pie 30th Anniversary Tour. And they're bringing some friends on the bus. Also starring Winger and Lita Ford. Friday, September 30th, the Family Arena. Tickets are on sale now. Available at the Carroll House box office located at the Family Arena or through Ticketmaster. Warrant, Winger, and Lita Ford together live.
Oh, Adam, you are so romantic. And I love the kitchen you found with all these great crumbs.
Yeah, baby, only the finest crumbs in the kitchen for my favorite aunt.
Did I just hear a car door slam?
Oh, no. It's the pest control company again with those green wheels. They always kill the mood.
This is Derek, the owner of All Solutions Pest Control. Give us a call today at 636-486-7888.
If a pest-free home is your goal, call All Solutions Pest Control.
Leaving a child in a hot vehicle can lead to their death very quickly. Set cell phone reminders or place something you'll need in the back seat so you don't forget your child is in the car. Look for your baby before you lock. Brought to you by NHTSA.
Tony LaRussa here. Has your loss of energy and weight gain thrown you a curveball in your relationship? If so, go see my friends over at Victory Men's Health. Discreet first-class professionals will help you hit those curves out of the park. VictoryMen'sHealth.com. That's VictoryMen'sHealth.com.
Odyssey is an all-encompassing audio landing zone where you can find podcasts in any genre and listen live to 97.1. Not to mention that you can rewind within the last 24 hours. 97.1 FM Talk on the go.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
Right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Come on, turn the radio on. It's Saturday and I won't be long.
Don't get me wrong, I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
For goodness sake, kid, keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
We've been told by several law enforcement officials that a man was arrested overnight near the home of Supreme Court Justice Brett Kavanaugh. He was armed with a gun, a knife, and pepper spray, and told authorities that he was there to kill the justice. Now, he was not arrested at the home of the justice. He was arrested nearby. Law enforcement officials tell us that the man actually arrived by taxi and was seen by police and other law enforcement officials that were near the justice's house.
So another development in the world of crazy that we live in, there has been an attacker. You've probably heard about this morning outside the home of Brett Kavanaugh with intent to kill. He was armed and he was prepared to kill Justice Kavanaugh. Well, why is that? He's upset about the SCOTUS leak, the Roe v. Wade leak, and there are reports saying he's upset about mass shooters. It's a very weird way to make your point if you are somebody who is upset about shootings and then to descend upon the home of a Supreme Court justice with a gun. Let's go back about a month. No, let's see. What is it? It's June 8th. Yeah, a month. May 6th of this year.
Just about moving forward, these activists posted a map with the home addresses of the Supreme Court justices. Is that the kind of thing this president wants to help your side make their point?
Look, I think the president's view is that there's a lot of passion, a lot of fear, a lot of sadness from many, many people across this country about what they saw in that leaked document.
Oh, publishing the addresses, the home addresses of these Supreme Court justices is understandable. Is that not what she's saying? That it's understandable because there's so much passion behind this particular issue, and there's hurt and there's angst. The double standards in this country have been out of control. But today is yet again another day where we just have to sit back in our chair. You kind of throw both hands up in the air and you let them fall in your lap and you just shake your head. Because this is the standard issue. What if, let's just say the balance of the court was 5-4 in favor of the more liberal justices? And what if Roe v. Wade wasn't the law of the land? And what if they were about to make abortion legal across the country, rule it constitutionally legal? What if a conservative white male descended upon the home of one of the more liberal justices? Would this be the way that this media covers this issue? Well, of course it wouldn't. The hypocrisy it's putrid. There's a stench to it. And it permeates the conversation about politics anywhere we go. The double standards are the only standards that we have anymore. When I hear about this story, and I understand that this individual who is a lunatic and I hope is put away, what kind of DA do they have there? I'm going to read here from Fox News a little bit just to give you the details of the news reports that are coming out. An armed man was arrested near the Maryland home of Supreme Court Justice Brett Kavanaugh Wednesday morning. Law enforcement sources confirmed to Fox News the suspect was carrying a gun and a knife when arrested and had made violent threats against Kavanaugh. The man's name is being withheld at this time, but sources say he's in his 20s and from California and was picked up on a nearby street. He did not get into Kavanaugh's home. No charges have been filed at this point. U.S. Marshals and the Montgomery County Police Department are handling the investigation. U.S. Attorney General Merrick Garland addressed the incident at a press conference previously planned to provide an update on the federal investigation into the Uvalde, Texas elementary school shooting. Quote, "This kind of behavior, it's obviously behavior we will not tolerate. Threats of violence and actual violence against the justices, of course, strike at the heart of our democracy. We will do everything we can to prevent them and hold people who do them accountable." Do a little rewind there to the first statement he made. This kind of behavior, it's obviously behavior we will not tolerate. It is not obviously behavior that this administration will not tolerate. Attorney General. You can look across the board in Washington, D.C., and you can hear all sorts of different calls for action. You can hear different legislators calling for people to become very active participants in protest and do whatever it takes. What's the woman from California? Maxine Waters. I was thinking in my head, and I was like, as soon as I asked it, I knew the answer to my question. How many things has she said that have been inciting the type of behavior that we're seeing right now? We hear it from these people on a regular basis.
If you see anybody from that cabinet in a restaurant, in a department store, at a gasoline station, you get out and you create a crowd. And you push back on them. And you tell them they're not welcome.
I mean, her words, not mine. Over and over and over again, we hear people reacting to the publishing of these addresses of these Supreme Court justices at their houses. And they're explaining it. And by explaining it, they're excusing the behavior of protesters at these homes. They are okay with it. So for the Attorney General to come out and say in some press conference that, I'm just going to be honest, nobody's watching this press conference. This kind of behavior, it's obviously behavior that we will not tolerate. There is nothing that is obvious anymore, folks. Everything that is obvious is rooted in some kind of tradition. Everything that is supposed to be predictable or common, that's what makes it obvious. Those things that we are supposed to rely on as normal, the word in itself, normal, is a bad word in today's culture. Every single tradition, every single foundation that has been relied upon for us to understand and communally agree upon so that we can function as a society, because we, the people, mean something very important. It means that we run our lives. We don't have people coming in and telling us how to run our lives. All of these things, they're all being broken down. Not even one after the other. It's scorched earth. It starts with vocabulary. It starts with people coming in and using words and prohibiting words to be spoken in order to fit the context of what they want the new tradition, the new normal, the new accepted way of life in this country, but probably globally, to be. I kind of have a no AOC policy on this show because it grates me. And if I were sitting in my car and someone started playing her voice, I would turn that radio station off. And it is not my goal to make you turn this radio station off. I want you to stay here all day long. AOC just did an Instagram Live a couple days ago, blasting her own party for not being willing to use the term Latinx. To which I saw sidebar on a tweet, I saw someone retweet that and say that they pronounce it Latinx, which I kind of might actually start using that because I think it's funny. She's up in arms because the Democratic Party is refusing to participate in this very, very important use of language. To move away from using Latino or Latina. I personally know Latinos and Latinas who are very proud to be Latino and Latina. And they don't want to be Latinx or Latinx. I don't know. Actually, I haven't asked them about that one. I need to check my facts on that. She's marching and she's criticizing and she's pushing for change that the culture that it affects doesn't even want. Why? Because it's one more cog in the wheel that makes us all move away from what we understand on how to exist, how to communicate with one another, how to respect one another. And at the root of all of this is the lack of respect for intent. When you have a conversation with somebody and they know you to be a good person, they know you your whole life, is it possible that you could use the wrong word with no malintent, that you could accidentally not, or maybe ignorantly so, use the wrong word in a sentence and lose that relationship? That happens today over words. The idea that we don't have winners and losers in our own lives, that everybody has to be equal, is not an attainable idea. And once again, we have government officials coming into our lives, telling us what the goal is, the unattainable expectation for us to meet. And as long as it's always unattainable, they can always push to attain it. They can always be on the battlefield on one side of a particular issue, pushing for more and pushing for more. You know what that gives them? Their next campaign. Their next opportunity to explain to you why they are fighting harder than the other side of the aisle. And many times it's over words. It's the ground floor of fundamental change. Vocabulary is the ground floor of fundamental change. And we have instance after instance after instance of people on the left pushing in their righteous indignation, pushing for the kind of action and even violence that has continuously occurred across this country on behalf of far left progressive issues. And I say far left progressive issues because, folks, these are not traditional Democrat ideals. The AOCs of the world are pulling that Democratic Party as far as they possibly can to the left, and they're going to lose. They're going to lose doing this. But you have to show up, and you have to be willing to speak up with good intent, with kindness to anybody out there who's willing to listen to you. And you have to be willing to listen to them. That is as important as anything else, so that we can start to get ourselves back away from the far left and center ourselves so that the people who are on the left and the people who are on the right can have respectful conversations with one another and care more about the person than they care about the political party. We cannot stand and allow rhetoric that continues to come from our media, from our politicians, that encourages the behavior that showed up near Brett Kavanaugh's doorstep last night. We cannot have it. And we need to lean on those people who are excusing it to change their tune. We're going to take a quick break. I'm excited about our next guest. Comedian Joe Mackey is going to be on the show with us. He is a comedian who is a regular on Gutfeld on Fox News at night. You can learn more about him at joemackey.com. But I also want to tell you, very exciting, if you have heard him, he's hilarious. He's in St. Louis. Funny Bone is presenting Joe Mackey at their new location at Streets of St. Charles. Joe is a regular, like I said, with the Greg Gutfeld show on Fox News at night. And he is coming to the Funny Bone at the Streets of St. Charles June 9th, tomorrow, through June 12th. You can get tickets right now at stlouisfunnybone.com. And I hope to send a whole bunch of crowded theaters to him and give him a nice, warm St. Louis welcome while he is here. Joe Mackey with us on the Annie Frey Show when we come back.
You're listening to the Annie Frey Show. Find the podcast, on-demand audio, and more at 971talk.com/Annie.
Missionaries in a foreign field. For some reason I can't explain. Once you've gone, it was never this word. That was when I ruled the world.
97.1 FM Talk. Uncensored discussion that's free in more ways than one. This is where St. Louis comes to talk. 97.1 FM Talk. Right here, right now.
The Closet Factory, closetfactory.com. I want you to reach out to them, to talk to them about how they can solve some of your issues, your problems, and organize your home, your office, your place of business, whatever it might be. Closet Factory comes into your home and they look at your concern and they say, what can we do here? How can we make this work? They will show you an entire mock-up of how your new space is going to work. And when they create that space, they don't just go, okay, so you got a 5 by 7 foot space here. This is how we can put shelves in. What are you going to put in there? What do you want to put in there that maybe you haven't put in your office before? How do you want to store things? And they use those measurements to give you your customized solution. This is an affordable way also to improve the value of your home, the look and aesthetic of your home, and the life you live in your home. To learn more about Closet Factory, you can see everything you need to know right there on their website. I'm going to give that to you in a second, but give them a call and mention the Annie Frey Show when you give them the ring. 314-961-4300. That's 314-961-4300. Online at closetfactory.com.
Our national debt is now over $30 trillion, an increase of over 20% in just the past 2 years. I'm sure you've been told at some point that taxes will be lower when you retire, but do you truly believe that? Now is the time to begin planning for the future of tax increases. Is your financial advisor helping you with tax planning for a tax-efficient future? If not, this is the time to call me, Ken Heisey, at Heisey Advisory Group, 314-328-6000. If you're like most people, you have a portfolio of investments, but a portfolio is not a plan. How have you planned for the potential legislative risk of increased taxes? Call Heisey Advisory Group now and let us help you create a plan to reduce the tax risk in your retirement. 314-328-6000. Again, that's 314-328-6000.
Firm offers insurance services but does not provide tax advice. Investment advisory services offered only by duly registered individuals through A Wealth Management, LLC.
Looking to sell your house without all the hassle and pricey repair costs? Great! Because Chris Buys Homes in St. Louis loves buying fix-up homes in any condition, as is, no fees and no commissions. Call 314-782-8000, and Chris Buys Homes in St. Louis will give you a cash offer right now. No strings attached. We buy inherited houses, divorce houses, trashed houses, even those my tenant won't pay rent houses. Call Chris at 314-782-8000 and find out how easy it is to work with us. That's 314-782-8000. Do you think your home will be difficult to sell? Easy. Our team will provide you with personal guidance through our short and simple process to turn your house into a pile of gold. Just call Chris at 314-782-8000. 314-782-8000. That's 314-782-8000. And let Chris worry about everything.
When you have Rhino Shield on your house, it does a couple of things for you. It beautifies the house and it protects it from the harshest elements. And boy, do we see those here in the greater St. Louis area. You get instant curb appeal. It will stick to anything. Rhino Shield is the answer, no matter whether you're painting a home or a church or a business or a condo, because it's 100% waterproof. It takes care of the outdoor maintenance on whatever is on the outside of your home. The brick, the block, aluminum, steel, stucco. They can put this on with the 2 to 3 coat process. They're there about a week, and they do a great job. A lot of businesses have done it in the area. Several Firestones have done that. Vantage Credit Union over the years, Harlan Packaging down in DeSoto. Call Darren today and schedule your free estimate. 877-25-RHINO, easy to remember phone number, or go online today at 877-25rhino.com.
This is the Annie Frey Show. Interact with Annie on Facebook. The Annie Frey Show.
He was a hard-headed man. He was brutally handsome.
I do have to say, just on the issue of gas prices, after waiting for a long time to have enough chips in this country to finally get my electric vehicle, I got it and drove it from Michigan to here this last weekend and went by every single gas station, and didn't matter how high it was. And so I'm looking forward to the opportunity for us to move to vehicles that aren't going to be dependent on the whims of the oil companies and the international markets.
So Senator Stabenow, Michigan, is passing every single gas station. It didn't even matter to her how high gas was. Lucky her. I guess once you rise to the status of senator, you can afford to do these things and brag about them. I don't know. It's kind of a weird flex coming from a senator who I just got to think that clip, driving by gas stations and not even having to think about them, that's going to be a campaign ad that she's going to wish that she never had to confront. Welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. We are happy that you're here with us. Working on connecting with Joe Mackey. He is a comedian. He is on with the Gutfeld Show, as you've seen him many times. He's super funny, and he is going to be at the St. Charles, the streets of St. Charles, their Funny Bone there. You can get tickets by going to stlouisfunnybone.com. He's here from the June 9th through the 12th. So tomorrow through the weekend. Should be a really, really great show. More from the people in the administration, the people on Capitol Hill, talking to you about these gas prices. And do you sit there and listen to this and wonder if they know what it's like to be you?
With respect to energy, the administration has done everything that they can to bring down energy costs, for example, through an historic release of 1 million barrels a day from the Strategic Petroleum Reserve, and energy prices, gas prices while very high, have risen a lot. They would be higher without that.
It's you listen to Yellen there talking about the fact that he's done everything he can do on gas prices, when most of America knows that's absolutely not true. And it's very strange that you'd have one administration, gas prices were here, and then the next administration on day one, what do? They shut down all the pipelines and make it like a day one mission of theirs to move to green energy. And then we get in trouble, and he's like, you know what we really need? We need some more solar panels. Let's get the solar panels going in here. Americans know. Americans understand exactly what's going on, and they're really not buying what he's selling. It's too expensive. Inflation's too high anyway. It's unbelievable. And what Stabenow is saying there, I can't even imagine saying out loud in the United States Senate, driving past every gas station, don't even care what the prices are. Let's get to our guest. Joe Mackey joins us right now, comedian, a regular on the Gutfeld show, and he is going to be at the Streets of St. Charles Funny Bone, June 9th through the 12th. Your tickets, you can get them right now at stlouisfunnybone.com. Joe, a pleasure to have you here on the Annie Frey Show.
Hey, thank you for having me. Sorry I called an hour early. I was on Eastern time, but that's a good problem to have. I was early.
Yeah, that's usually not the problem we have with guests, so I appreciate that. You know, the first question I wanted to ask you, Joe, is doing comedy in the climate that we have right now. I know a lot of people are saying like in the woke world, but I want to set that aside just for a second and ask you, is it easier to make people laugh when everything around them sucks? Do they want to laugh more? Do they come into your show and are they a little angry?
You know, it is, people are really looking to laugh. They were cooped up for a while. There's a lot of absurdity in the world, and they kind of want an excuse and a venue to do it. That's the great thing about comedy clubs. You get the booze flowing, the lights are turned down low. People can't really see you. So it's a great place to just be yourself for a couple hours at least, and try to make fun of the world. Just leave early in case there's those gas lines,
Yeah, totally. Absolutely. I think about the 4 years that Donald Trump was president of the United States, and I covered him, all of those days on this show. And there was so much comedy gold that was just sitting there for the taking. But the people who didn't like him, they didn't do comedy. They did anger, and they just missed 4 years of very, very good laughs that conservatives would have been happy to laugh along with it. Now we've kind of got the converse, at least if you're a conservative like I am. You look at the president, and I'm almost more sad for him than I am interested in laughing at him.
It doesn't matter what your partisan views are. You can find something to laugh about, even when you don't agree necessarily. And that's why I try to put the joke first. Everyone's got a point of view. There's nothing wrong with that. But I try to make sure it's funny. If it's not, it comes out of the act. And it's a real shame that people kind of take an administration off or two if they like the guy. That's not how it's supposed to work. You're supposed to be trying to make people laugh no matter what the weather.
Funny Bone is presenting Joe Mackey at their new location at Streets of St. Charles. Tickets available for the June 9th through 12th shows at stlouisfunnybone.com. I'm curious what you know, Joe, about St. Louis. When you come to the Midwest, do you have any experience with the Midwest? What's it like when you come here?
I've been here a number of times. I always have a good show. Usually I work at the Westport Funny Bone location, which is an industrial office park out north. I know that St. Louis, they have fun crowds. They like their beer.
Yeah, we're proud of that.
They are proud of it. I find that the more fun shows I have are, working class towns where they like to kick back with a couple of beers every now and then because they know what they're doing. It's not like St. Patrick's Day where it's amateur hour. I was just surprised people weren't drinking as much Budweiser as they were that Schlafly beer, which is also delicious. But they like their St. Louis beers. But there was a more of a mix than I thought.
What is it like to go from town to town where you might have, we've got red states and blue states, of course, but I would imagine that different towns have different temperatures. Do you have to take the temperature of that, or do you just work your set and you do what you do and see what works and doesn't?
It's like I'm cold-blooded. I don't pay attention at all because if you switch your act, depending on where you're going, And that's going to drive yourself crazy. And it doesn't mean like it's kind of like saying I don't have any integrity artistically, so I'm going to change my set for the audience. Where it's like I think audiences should be okay with like, well, maybe this isn't 100% what I like, but there's nothing wrong with it being 80% of what you like. So I do the same thing everywhere. I try to write my act for what I think is funny, not what the crowd will necessarily like in a particular city. And usually it works out pretty good. I've worked the red states. I've worked the blue states. I've worked areas where it's a good mix, like Huntsville, Alabama. You got some rednecks and you got NASA and government employees. And sometimes that's the most fun.
Do you have any redneck NASA government employees?
It's tough to get all those three demographics into one person, but I'm sure they're out there.
Yeah, I bet they are. We're speaking with Joe Mackey. He is at the Funny Bone this weekend at the Streets of St. Charles. Tickets available at stlouisfunnybone.com. I'm curious on your thoughts about the president sitting down with, comedian Jimmy Kimmel, supposed to, I guess, air this evening. Do you tune into that type of stuff? What do you expect from it?
I used to love the late night talk shows, but I found, I like, because they gave comics a chance and they've given me a chance. I always found the interviews to be boring because they're pre-scripted, and I can't believe they're still doing it like that when podcasts have kind of shown that you can have an interesting conversation with people without having to know the questions and answers in advance. And that's what I kind of think of these. This is a softball interview. I don't think even the White House would deny that. So I don't think you're going to get a whole lot of pushback or interesting questions coming from Jimmy Kimmel.
So, yeah, I feel like I may have a professional obligation to watch it, but it's probably going to be consumed through clips after the fact. Maybe I'll watch the whole thing. Joe Mackey with us right now at the Funny Bone this weekend. Want to make sure you have the opportunity to get your tickets and fill those seats while he's visiting our town. Joe, what's the funniest thing right now that you think is going on in the world? The people, it's like, usually I always look at comedy as people who are willing to say the truth when nobody else will. There's a lot of tough, heavy stuff going on in the world. Where do you find the humor?
Well, I mean, last week I started working on a joke about the World Economic Forum because it's this weird event in Switzerland where a bunch of billionaires are like, well, the poor people have problems, so billionaires are going to solve them in secret, which is not how I would do it. The whole situation is preposterous, but there's funny in everything. It's just if you got to kind of mind for it and look for it.
I think that America is turning a corner on that as well. I've been impressed with Netflix's willingness to stand behind people who are willing to give a diverse kind of content. I mean, a while back, they had the whole cuties thing going on with, they were putting weird stuff on Netflix about young girls. And I canceled Netflix myself. I didn't ask anybody else to do it. It was just a personal decision. But their willingness to stand behind comedians who are not saying things that are, check, woke approved. I don't care what people are saying, but people need to be free to say it. And comedy to me is the front line of bringing that type of First Amendment flex back to the American people. Do you feel like there's a resurgence of interest from the fans, from people willing to laugh and buy a ticket to go do it and hear whatever it is the comedian has to say?
I don't think there's ever been a lack of interest on the part of the fans. I think what happens with a lot of big tech platforms is they make things seem popular that aren't necessarily popular, but I will push back a little bit on Netflix supporting comics, because they support comics when they've paid them tens of millions of dollars already. When Netflix starts booking comics that are, kind of not household names that they didn't spend a ton on, that seem to have a wider range of views, maybe I'll be a little more convinced.
Yeah, I understand that. I appreciate it. Joe, it's a pleasure to have you on the show. Tyrus is a regular on our show every Thursday. And
great.
I would just want to give you the opportunity. I'm going to ask him tomorrow on the show about working with you. So I want to ask you, what's it like to work side by side on Gutfeld with Tyrus?
I think when you're as massive a human being as he is, people make a lot of prejudgments, but he's actually quite intelligent. And I think being a massive guy, maybe people don't pick on you. That's just my assumption, but he's so friendly and not at all intimidating. He's just a nice guy, maybe because he's so secure about not being messed with. Whereas I had a different experience growing up.
Yeah.
So I'm a pit bull out there. Everybody knows it.
Yeah. You say I've watched your comedy before as you were coming up through some of the reality talk shows, and you did very well with those. And I've seen you on Gutfeld show, and I have to say that the ratings bear this out. But Gutfeld is an enormous breath of fresh air where they have proven that you can talk about real world issues in a common sense, relatable way that isn't preachy.
Well, I like to think that's what we do, and it's just like anything else. People were saying there was no market for it, kind of deciding for the market, and once that show got started, it kind of proved that thinking wrong.
Yeah, it sure did. Well, Joe, we welcome you to St. Louis. Have all the beers that you want. We love to share our beer with our visitors, and we hope that you have sellout crowds there at the Streets of St. Charles Funny Bone, stlouisfunnybone.com for tickets. And I'm going to talk to my husband and see if we can get out there and see it. I think it'd be a fun time.
Well, I hope you can make it, and thank you for having me.
Absolutely. We would love to do it again. We'll talk to you again soon, Joe Mackey. Thank you so much.
Sounds good. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Yeah, he did call it 11:25. He had an Eastern time zone label on that 12:25 spot. Great to have him on here, and glad that he was interested in coming to talk to you. And hopefully you get a chance to go out and see his show. As I said, stlouisfunnybone.com. Quick break. When we come back, a little more Annie Frey show. This hour, we're going to talk about that YouTube live chat poll. Have your political views changed in the last 10 years? Are you more conservative, more progressive, or have you stayed the same? I'd love to know what you think. Just go to the Annie Frey YouTube channel, and in the live chat section, you will see the poll right there, and you can vote. And if you are so inclined, leave us a comment as to why you voted the way you did. We'll be back in just a minute. Don't go away.
Man, he was brutally handsome.
The Annie Frey Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
She held him up, and he held her for ransom in the heart of the cold city. He had a nasty reputation as a cruel dude. They said he was ruthless. They said he was cruel. They had one thing in common. They were good in bed. She'd say, faster, faster.
The Mark Reardon Show. They're going to stick you in the back of the Made in Missouri FA-18 Super Hornet.
Oh, I love that.
And they will put you through the ringer for 45 minutes.
Whoa, 45 minutes? That's a long time.
Weekdays from 3 to 6 on 97.1 FM Talk.
Judge Mike Carter, and just like you, I've been working in the real world for a good long time. I remember bussing tables back in 1986, driving Domino pizza deliveries. I was a UPS package car driver. Then I got my license in real estate in 1990. Been doing that for a good long time as a broker and salesperson. And I started my law firm in 2004 and been doing that for 18 years, making sure paychecks cash and people have 401ks. We could use a lot more real world in Washington, D.C., and especially Jeff City here in Missouri. Much like President Trump, when he came into D.C. and was cleaning up the swamp, a lot of it had to do with the fact that he had been thrashing around in the real world for a very long time. I've dealt with bureaucrats and red tape and the things that get in the way for people to be successful in their jobs and their businesses. And I can tell you down in Jeff City, there will be no voice louder than mine with the experience that I bring to bear on what we need for the citizens of the state of Missouri. I'd like you to go to MikeCarter.com and check this out. Paid for by Team Mike Carter, Mike Carter Treasurer.
Hairsaloon.com. That's the website that you can check out to learn about the various locations across the St. Louis region on the Illinois side and the Missouri side, and schedule your appointment online to get the perfect haircut from Hair Saloon. They are acknowledging dads right now, and they want to make sure that you understand that Hair Saloon is for every guy. There's not too fancy of a place. They know that dads are out there busting their butts every day to make ends meet, to get the kids where they need to go, and they're working hard to make sure that all those expectations are met. That's why they want to give you that opportunity to sit down at Hair Saloon and enjoy your time. A half hour or so spent in the chair, getting a relaxing shampoo, a scalp massage, a hot towel and mint treatment, that free complimentary beverage as well, all wrapped up with the perfect haircut every time. You can rely on Hair Saloon to give you the treatment that you deserve because they believe that men do deserve better. For their locations and to make an appointment, visit them online at hairsaloon.com.
Need more living space to enjoy every moment you spend at home? Time to call Lakeside Renovation and Design. Whether you want a luxurious bathroom, an updated kitchen with tons of counter space, a finished basement, or a bump-out addition, Lakeside does it all. We don't subcontract, and we guarantee our work with a lifetime workmanship warranty, so you can rest assured you get the home interior of your dreams. Request a free consultation at 636-978-5000. That's 636-978-5000. You'll love your home all over again.
Hi guys, are you struggling with erectile dysfunction and sick of the pills? Well, today, Wednesday, June 8th, we're running a one-day special you won't want to miss out on. Pineview Medical Clinic uses the most powerful form of wave therapy, clinically proven to open up and repair blood vessels. 60 studies now say this technology can get rid of your erectile dysfunction. If you're ready to put a stop to your ED, grab your phone, call us now, and you'll qualify for the assessment, plus an enhanced gift that produces powerful results in the bedroom, totally free. You're going to love that. And today only, we're offering 4 tune-up treatments to our patients free. This is our most lucrative offer ever, and it's only good today, Wednesday, June 8th. It's worth almost $1,000, but call today, Wednesday, and qualify totally free. 314-530-7777. That's 314-530-7777. Guys, put a stop to your erectile dysfunction and get your love life back. Call Pineview Medical Clinic now to qualify. This offer ends today. 314-530-7777.
Mark Cox here. If you're nearing retirement or already retired, call Thomas Helbig with the Retirement Advisory Group at 314-993-9494. He'll show you how to participate in the market gains without ever losing a penny. Thomas is the official financial advisor of the Mark Cox Morning Show.
You're listening to the Annie Frey Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling Studio. Air Comfort Service is proud to support Greater St. Louis Honor Flight. Sign your veteran up for their honor flight today at gslhonorflight.org, and for heating services, visit aircomfortservice.com.
Back in the car and back on the road. We're with you. Dependable traffic with Sue Thomas. Driven by Ambassador Midwest Floor Company. The best way to deal with in-home traffic. Experience more at Ambassador Midwest Floor. This is the Annie Frey Show. Follow Annie on Twitter at Annie Frey Show.
Now and then I think of when we were together. Like when you said you felt so happy you could die.
You know, he got us into calm waters. That was always the idea.
Yeah.
He's doing a very good job. It's a tough one. I couldn't imagine. I could imagine how difficult it is. I have decisions in my own personal life that I imagine that what he goes through is 100 times that.
Yeah.
And so, no, he's doing the best he can. And we got to get through a bad period. Yeah. Period.
No, that's the political scholar Joe De Niro talking to Stephen Colbert. And, you know, you kind of get the lead-in question to that. Stephen Colbert sets him up and says, you know, you had some problems with the previous administration. Do you feel like it's better now? And he's absolutely, it's better now. Of course it's better now. Everything that exists today is revolving around Trump. How you could put any criticism of this administration that has to do with details that are taking place in the world right now, and the response is, what about Trump? Without fail. There is such an unhealthy obsession for someone like Joe De Niro to be sitting in a cushy chair next to Stephen Colbert and to be asking how things are going right now, and to hear his response and talk about how he's doing much better. Does he understand what Americans are going through?
He got us into calm waters. That was always the idea.
Yeah.
Which calm waters is he talking about? I mean, there's a whole host of things that I can list, but if Donald Trump would have been responsible for what took place in Afghanistan, and people were to be throwing that back in everybody's face over and over and over again, that would have merit. When you think about what Joe Biden did in Afghanistan, it is inexcusable. So inexcusable that there are many people in his own party in elected office who are saying, what the heck is going on here? Inflation, not calm waters. Baby formula shortage, not calm waters. Student loan crisis, not calm waters. One that Joe Biden himself has really manifested the storm around him. He might be in the eye of it, but that's because it's nap time. People are waiting with bated breath to find out if Joe Biden is going to forgive loans that these individuals willfully and knowingly signed up for. And now they're looking at him. The one thing that he can do, and it's going to come, folks, there's going to be some sort of student loan forgiveness, and it would be stupid and foolish of President Biden to do it too far away from the midterms. I think the extension right now of not having to pay back loans is through August, and sets up perfect timing for that to be addressed in September, maybe October, right before the midterm elections, and that's to shore up votes. I think they're forgetting how many people are going to be royally flamed at the idea that they worked their butts off and paid off their student loans, and all of a sudden a massive handout is provided to all these individual peoples who took out loans that they knew when they signed on the dotted line that they were going to have to pay back, and now it's going to be paid back by the taxpayers who also paid back their own loans. It's a perfect storm. It's not calm.
He's doing a very good job. It's a tough one. I couldn't imagine. I could imagine how difficult it is.
What is it? It's a tough one. I mean, the implication there, and I wish we had the beginning part of that Stephen Colbert question, because Stephen Colbert really set this up as it's not Trump, it's now Biden scenario. But when you listen to him say, it's a tough job, I don't know how anyone would do this. The only thing that makes sense in that context is Joe Biden coming in and cleaning up the mess that Donald Trump created. Ironically, Joe Biden's cleaning up of Trump's mess is a hugely, massively bigger mess for Americans under Joe Biden than it is under Trump, which leads me to believe that if this is the progress that they've been working on, they don't give two hoots about you and your everyday experience, your pay, your what did you pay, Brad, yesterday? You filled up your truck?
$135.
It's not sustainable. And how long will that last you? How many?
I should get a week and a half to 2 weeks.
How many miles do you get on tank?
My little gauge on my truck says 400 and some odd miles, 460 something.
It's unbelievable. And it's not something that can be continued to be sustained, especially when you compound it with all of the other inflationary implications that Americans are experiencing on a daily basis. But if Joe De Niro says it on Stephen Colbert, does it make you feel better? Does it make you feel more comfortable that these elitist celebrities that are sitting on a stage on a network nighttime show saying, you know what, this is better. You guys look around. This is the post-Trump world. This is better. And that's where we arrive at our moment today. They're terrified that it isn't the post-Trump world. They're terrified that the mess that is taking place right now is setting up Donald Trump for his second term. And his second term, if you thought that the first term was tumultuous, the second term is going to be, I'll use the Trump phrase, like nothing you've ever seen. It'll be big league, huge. Speaking Trumpisms. He's going to come in and he is going to implement things that are going to, if he gets elected, if he runs, he would come in and he would implement, in many cases, the same policies that he had in his first term. I think it will be breakneck speed with which he can work to get this economy back on track. And if you stick Joe Biden in there, who is a puppet for the most progressive Democratic Party that I've ever seen in my life. You know, I've said this before in the show, but people say, oh, you remember gas lines and food lines under Carter? I'm like, no, I was not alive. And I'm almost 40. I wish people would remember the context of time. I was talking to a friend of mine yesterday, and they have a kid that's going into high school, and we just kind of stare at each other like, that's not even possible. They're getting old, but we're getting old. But the historical context of what took place under Jimmy Carter is not something that is personally relatable to people who are 40 years old. We don't know that from personal experience. I've heard it from people in my family or people in my life who did experience it. I've been told that it was bad. I've been told that a lot of things were bad. The people in my parents' generation, I'm sure, heard many stories about the Great Depression, but they never really knew. You couldn't empathize with how absolutely horrific the Great Depression actually was. But you knew enough about it to try to make sure that it didn't happen again. The same thing goes with the 70s and with Carter. We are in our own existence of that reality right now. And when you say things like, oh, you remember those gas lines? We don't remember it. And we're not children anymore, as much as I would like to be. Be 40 years old and not understand that from personal experience. We are aging. And we are now going to be the generation who's going to tell our kids, you remember Biden, 4 years. How fast it turned into an absolute unmitigated disaster. We are living that right now. Let's learn our generation's lesson and make sure it never happens again. Deroy Murdock when we come back.
I'm back to doing what I love and more. Thanks to the Good Feet store.
I'm a martial artist, a pilot, mountain biker, hiker. The thing that brings me down is my feet. When my wife finally talked me into going into the Good Feet store, the salesperson there immediately started investing himself in my problem. This is not something that you could solve online. There's got to be somebody there that can help you find that fit. You put in the arch supports and your day becomes better and the clouds go away and it's a good life. I wear them all the time. Good Feet has saved the day.
Call 314-317-9494 or visit one of our 2 locations on Olive, Catty Corner from TGI Fridays, or in Shiloh, Illinois, across from Deerbergs.
Thanks to the Good Feet store.
Individual results may vary. Consult your physician for medical conditions. Visit the website goodfeetstlewis.com. Come in and try the Good Feet feeling today. Comfort, energy, performance, and pain relief. Good Feet arch supports are proudly made in the USA.
This is Judge Mike Carter. As the judge of Wentzville and an attorney, I've had the honor of working with Lincoln County Prosecutor Mike Wood and St. Charles Prosecutor Tim Lomar. We all share a great respect for the rule of law and keeping our families and communities safe. As your next Republican state senator, I'll oppose those who want to defund and tie the hands of our police. I'll protect our Second Amendment rights and see that strong laws are in place to dissuade those who think they can come here to break into your car or home. I'm Mike Carter, and I want to earn your vote to be your Republican state senator. This is Judge Mike Carter, Republican candidate for the new 10th District State Senate seat. I believe strongly, as I know you do, in safeguarding our personal freedoms and securing our rights as guaranteed under the Constitution. I'll put my knowledge and experience to work for you, protecting those rights, opposing tax hikes, keeping families safe by opposing those who want to defund the police, making small businesses and family farms a priority, and safeguarding our Second Amendment. I'm Mike Carter, and I hope to earn your vote to be your next Republican state senator. Go to MikeCarter.com to learn more. Paid for by me, Mike Carter.
Hey, St. Louis, it's Michael Mohan with Community Mortgage. The real estate market is as hot as the center of a freshly cooked toasted ravioli, making this a great time to use the equity in your home for a cash-out refinance, to upgrade your outdated kitchen, or consolidate your high-interest credit card debt, saving hundreds each month. If you're in the market to purchase a new home, don't trust your loan to an out-of-state call center or online lender. Call me. Call Michael Mohan at 314-336-6050. I want to save you money on your home purchase, refinance, or debt consolidation, and put my 20 years of local loan experience to work for you. When you call, you'll speak to me, and I will tailor a loan to fit your needs. So call 314-336-6050. 314-336-6050. Or online at communitymortgagestl.com.
Community Mortgage LLC 224-143 NMLS 250353.
KFTK FM Florissant, driven by the Bomarito Automotive Group, 97.1 FM Talk.
An Odyssey station.
Strong words over a Supreme Court threat. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News, after an armed man was arrested overnight outside Justice Brett Kavanaugh's home.
This kind of behavior is obviously behavior that we will not tolerate.
U.S. Attorney General Merrick Garland.
Threats of violence and actual violence against the justices, of course, strike at the heart of our democracy. We will do everything we can to prevent them and to hold people who do them accountable.
Law enforcement officials say the suspect arrested near Kavanaugh's home in Maryland had a gun and a knife, now identified in a criminal complaint as 26-year-old Nicholas Roski of California. He also had multiple other items, including zip ties, a hammer and crowbar, duct tape, and pepper spray. The justices have had round-the-clock security at their homes after a leaked draft opinion on abortion that sparked protests. The White House says President Biden condemns this man's actions in the strongest possible terms. Garland's comments were made as he announced a new team of 9 people, including an FBI official and former police chiefs, to investigate the law enforcement response to the school shooting in Texas. A 4th grade survivor of that shooting sharing her story with Congress at a hearing on gun violence.
After her teacher and classmates were shot, 4th grade student Mia Cedillo says she covered herself with friends' blood.
Just stay quiet, and then I got my teacher's phone and called 911.
Mia appeared in a video recording for the House Oversight Committee. Parents of victims of the Uvalde and Buffalo, New York mass shootings also testified. Top committee Republican James Comer warned against knee-jerk reactions.
We must carefully consider the security posture of vulnerable targets sought out by evil people.
House Democrats are expected to advance several gun restrictions this week. That package is not expected to move forward in the 50-50 divided Senate.
Fox's Jared Halpern on Capitol Hill. America is listening to Fox News.
I tend to second-guess dinners with friends because they're often interrupted by diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or oily stools. It turns out I have EPI, or exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, which means I'm missing the enzymes needed to digest food. My doctor prescribed Creon, pancrelipase, an oral prescription medication that replaces pancreatic digestive enzymes. Creon treats EPI due to cystic fibrosis, chronic pancreatitis, pancreatectomy, or other conditions.
Creon may increase your chance of fibrosing colonopathy, a rare bowel disorder. Tell your doctor if you have a history of intestinal blockage or scarring or thickening of your bowel wall, if you're allergic to pork, or if you have gout, kidney problems, or worsening of painful swollen joints. Call your doctor if you have any unusual or severe gastrointestinal symptoms or allergic reactions. Take Creon as directed by your doctor and always with food. Do not chew capsules, as this may cause mouth irritation. Other side effects may include blood sugar changes, gas, dizziness, sore throat, and cough. These are not all the side effects of Creon.
Creon is the #1 prescribed EPI treatment. Ask your doctor about Creon for EPI and visit Creon.com or call 800-633-9110 to learn more. That's CREON.com.
Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling Weather with Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Scattered showers and thunderstorms still in place as we go through our Wednesday afternoon with a mix of clouds and sunshine and some gusty winds. 1 or 2 storms could be on the strong side. The high hanging around 80 degrees. Tonight, clear skies, 70s this evening, 60 for the overnight low. Thursday's beautiful day, sunny and nice, 80 with more scattered showers and thunderstorms during the day on Friday with a dynamite weekend on the way. This is 97.1 FM Talk, Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
It's happening right here, right now.
Spare me the bull about constitutional rights. The gentleman no, I will not yield, and I'm not going to yield for my entire 5 minutes, so don't ask again.
The Second Amendment, like all other rights, is not absolute.
We, as a whole of government approach, have been working on this since the recall, which was in February.
Do something is not a serious policy, but the actual policies that he listed are extremely troubling.
97.1 FM Talk.
Joe Biden opened America's borders to illegal immigrants. Now deadly drugs are pouring into Illinois. Overdose deaths are surging, and we're experiencing the worst crime wave in decades. Where does fake conservative Mary Miller stand? Miller says it's our responsibility to take care of illegal aliens. Here's Mary Miller admitting it.
If there's an illegal alien or illegal immigrant that lives next door and they need something, it is our responsibility as individuals to help those people.
Fake conservative Mary Miller is coddling illegal immigrants and putting Illinois families at risk. Conservative Rodney Davis is fighting to secure our border and deport criminal illegal aliens. Here's Rodney Davis.
Let's finish President Trump's wall, ban sanctuary cities, and stop illegal immigrants from voting in our elections. We need to get tough on illegal immigration. I'm Rodney Davis. I'm running for Congress, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Rodney for Congress.
I'm Joel Clark, a Select Quote agent, with a true story that could save you hundreds of dollars a year. A woman named Linda just called. Her husband, Ray, has a group life insurance policy, but is changing jobs and he can't take it with him. Well, I went to work and found Ray, who's 40 and takes medication to control his high blood pressure, a 10-year, $500,000 policy for only $19 a month. That's way more coverage for a lot less than what he was paying. If SelectQuote didn't shop for your life insurance, you're probably paying too much.
For your free quote and to find out how much you can save, call 1-800-780-7070. That's 1-800-780-7070. 1-800-780-7070. Or go to SelectQuote.com. Since 1985, we shop. You save.
Get full details on the example policies at selectquote.com/commercials. Your premium could vary depending on your health, issuing company, and other factors. Not available in all states.
Hey, it's Mark Reardon, and if you're looking to get the exterior of your home or business repainted, CertaPro's expert painters can help. They focus on the power of timeliness, the power of inspiration, the power of doing it right, the power of localness, the power of minimal disruption. Each CertaPro painter's business is independently owned and operated and can help make your home or business look amazing. Get your free estimate at CertaPro.com. That's Certa with a C. I've hired CertaPro for more than a decade because the work is amazing. For your home or business and the power of pro, CertaPro painters.
Hi, this is Ken.
And Lori Heisey of Heisey Advisory Group. We're dedicated to helping individuals and families work toward their financial goals.
If you're retiring soon, join us Saturday at 9:30 a.m. for your Retirement Highway.
Investment advisory services by individuals through AE Wealth Management, LLC.
If you owe the IRS, you have a legal issue, and you need the Lance Drury Law Firm. We'll protect your rights. Log on at lancedrurylaw.com or call us toll-free at 888-367-6512.
You can ask your smart speaker to play 97.1 FM Talk. And stay connected to everything happening in the world, the country, and the community. It's all through the new Odyssey app. 97.1 FM Talk.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Come on, turn the radio on. It's Saturday and I won't be long.
Don't get me wrong, I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
The San Francisco DA is out. Voters in that decidedly progressive city choosing to oust him in a recall election. Chesa Boudin was one of the most progressive prosecutors in the country, but critics say he was soft on crime as he made attempts to ease sentencings and reduce incarcerations. He really came under fire as crime rates rise in San Francisco post-pandemic, and this decision sending a major message to Democrats ahead of the midterms and raising some big questions for progressives about how to deal with crime and make voters feel safe and confident that Democrats can deliver if they are elected.
San Francisco, of all places. I don't know if there's a bigger, or I don't know if the word better is the right application of that word, hotbed for far left progressivism than San Francisco. And they told their woke DA to take a hike in a recall last night. That is really, really something. I want to talk to my friend Deroy Murdock about it. He's a Fox News contributor, and he's here with us each Wednesday. Deroy, were you surprised by the pretty decisive recall of Chesa Boudin?
Annie, good to talk to you. Not terribly surprised that he got recalled, but 60-40, very decisive. This wasn't a 51-49 nail biter or anything like that. I mean, the guy got trounced. And as you say, this didn't happen in Cheyenne, Wyoming, or Fargo, South Dakota, or something like this. It happened in San Francisco, which is about as left-wing a city as we have in this country. And maybe we've seen just how far left the pendulum will swing in this country before it starts moving back in the other direction.
So let me ask you this. If you see this happening in San Francisco and you see this far left DA get recalled there, is there something that was specific to this case that means, no, this is just about San Francisco? This isn't really a national implication about the direction of the electorate, or is it bigger than that?
Well, I think it's bigger than just San Francisco. I found it very funny that Chesa Boudin said in his concession speech last night, he blamed right-wing billionaires for booting him from office. So he didn't mention that left-wing billionaire George Soros put him in office. Soros has funded a number of these far-left so-called prosecutors who are really like public defenders with guns, I guess. Chesa Boudin in San Francisco, George Gascon in L.A., who's maybe facing a recall of his own very soon. Alvin Bragg here in Manhattan, Larry Krasner in Philadelphia. You have, I always forget her name, but you have one in St. Louis as well.
Kim Gardner, yeah.
Kim Gardner, exactly. She's another one of this group. And they just have this idea that the justice system is racist. It's probably based on slavery, and the police are just, like modern day, slave enforcers. And therefore, the way to handle people in the justice system is to get them out of the justice system and get them back on the streets as quickly as you can, no matter what their records are. And if they are convicted of crimes, give them short sentences. I mean, it's just a recipe for bedlam, and people get killed as a result of this. This isn't just, wasting taxpayer money or pork barrel spending. This is these ideas lead to people getting out of jail sooner or getting put back on the street right after they've been arrested for all kinds of crimes. They return to crime, and people get injured or murdered as a consequence. I mean, these guys have bloodshed. Guys and gals have blood on their fingers. It's absolutely horrible. So I think this is something that probably will be repeated outside San Francisco, and as far as I'm concerned, not soon enough.
Deroy Murdock, with Fox News contributor, joining us right now. I'm wondering about this perpetual woke progressive left mentality of shifting the focus and creating victims out of the victimizers. We have people across the country who are looking at criminals, and they're telling the community across, in all of these different areas across the country, to give those criminals a break because we don't know what their existence was, and they will then fill in all of the blanks. And oftentimes it has to do simply with skin color, where we're supposed to look at somebody and identify everything that ever happened to them, not just personally them, but historically in this country. And we're supposed to just go, yeah, you're right. Okay, let the criminal go. Is this something that you think the Democratic Party as a whole is in favor of?
Oh, I think absolutely. I mean, this is the whole basis of the 1619 Project, that America was not founded on the ideas of freedom and self-government established by our founders in 1776, but the country really is based on slavery, white supremacy, and the oppression of black people, and that those ideas start in 1619 and continue into 2022. And therefore, if somebody commits a crime and is black, well, therefore, it's just an extension of the slavery and oppression that started in 1619. So, let these people go and feel sorry for them and give them another chance and another chance and another chance. This is maybe slightly cute and interesting if it's kept in the faculty lounges, but when it's something that's transferred into the prosecutor's office, the DA's office in these big cities, it's something that leads to more crime, massive increases in everything from shoplifting. They've just seen pictures probably of people engaging in shoplifting in San Francisco, smash and grabs, people getting raped, people getting beaten, assaulted, and ultimately killed. This is, to give you a couple figures, in San Francisco, we have rapes up 9%, assaults up 11%, homicides up, killed, murders, deaths now 11%, larceny up 20%. So these things have real serious consequences and lead to bloodshed, and that's what the result is of these awful ideas. This is not no longer the Democratic Party of just people are poor, let's have some programs to help poor people out. It's all about, you killed somebody, but your ancestors suffered under slavery, so we got to be nice to you. This is a horrible idea, and a set of ideas, and this unfortunately leads to people being put in caskets, lowered into the ground.
Deroy Murdock with us right now, Fox News contributor. California also wants to, and the governor there wants to have that conversation about slavery reparations. What does that look like in the state of California?
Well, they just a week ago, a task force appointed by far-left Governor Gavin Newsom put out a 500-page report about reparation, the idea of reparations in California. They're supposed to present, I believe it's next year, to the legislature a comprehensive report on going forward with slavery reparations in California. This is a state that has, as we just mentioned, surging crime, massive homelessness. They've got, I think it's a 1,200-year drought. They've got wildfires that burn the place to the ground almost all the time, and certainly in the summer. And this is what the governor of California is focused on. It's just extraordinary. And this is not Alabama or Mississippi where slavery took place, and you've got people, operating and working where plantations used to exist. All that stuff happened thousands of miles away from California. California is not part of the Confederacy. California is not a slave state. And so of all places in the United States of America, that's the state that's going to launch slavery reparations. It's extraordinary. I mean, if I heard about this in Mississippi or Alabama, that would be bad enough. But to have this in California, place where I grew up, I was born in California, people got along fine. We seemed to get along in kind of a nice, sunny, splashy, palm tree-filled melting pot out there. And now we're to believe that this place is a hotbed of recovery from slavery and mass racism. And so we need to have the California government focused on that rather than the tremendous, enormous challenges they have to face them otherwise.
Deroy, I want to ask you about the hearing that is supposed to take place tomorrow evening, the produced hearing, the January 6th show, I suppose, that is going to be in prime time. And I want to ask you about this New York Times headline: January 6 hearings give Democrats a chance to recast midterm message. That feels to me like something that wasn't supposed to be said out loud.
Yeah, the hearings are supposed to be about what happened on January 6th and how to keep an attack on the Capitol from happening ever again. Now it turns out that, well, there's a great way for the Democrats to pivot away from inflation, high gas prices, a lack of baby formula, the collapse of Afghanistan, chaos in Europe, and get people focused on January 6th and this so-called coup d'etat attempted by Donald J. Trump. I tell you what you won't hear about in the hearings tomorrow is the fact that President Trump, 2 days before the January 6th attack, authorized up to 20,000 National Guard troops to keep the U.S. Capitol and Washington, D.C. safe, let people demonstrate, practice their First Amendment rights, say whatever they want about the election, and then go home peacefully. Muriel Bowser, the Democrat mayor of Washington, D.C., and Nancy Pelosi, the Democrat Speaker of the House, particularly Muriel Bowser, contacted the Department of Justice and the Pentagon and said, no, thanks, we don't want any stinking National Guard. We can handle it ourselves. Repeat, do not deploy the National Guard unless you hear from us. And so at that point, they had to stand down, and they basically shut down the National Guard troops who would have been there to protect the Capitol. January 6th would have been a series of speeches and some protests. Everyone would have gone home, and you and I would not be talking about this now. The Democrats stepped in, shut down the effort of Trump to try to protect the Capitol, protect Washington, D.C. The chaos erupted, and here we are talking about this now. And I'm almost certain you will not hear anything about the fact that Donald J. Trump approved 20,000 National Guard troops to protect Washington, D.C. at that time. That's covered up. That is not discussed. And that is a huge part of the story that ought to be part of the debate. But the Democrats are not interested in anything at all exculpatory, even for trying to find the facts. It's really about getting Donald J. Trump so he can't run for president again.
You know, I think the juxtaposition of what is going to take place tomorrow night and going all the way back to January of 2021, and remembering that they impeached the president. They tried to prove that he incited that riot, and they failed at it. They were putting everything out there that they had at the time, and they rushed it through to try to cripple the president from being able to essentially run again for office. That's what that was about then. I suspect that what is going to take place tomorrow night is still about making sure that Donald Trump is deemed ineligible to become the president of the United States once again.
I think it's about crippling his potential, his political prospects. It's about smearing the 74 million people who voted for Donald J. Trump. It's about weakening every Republican in this country running for everything from the White House to U.S. Senate, all the way down to city council and school board, and trying to say that anybody who supported Donald J. Trump is some sort of an insurrectionist, engaging in treason, a military, or I should say a coup d'etat plotter, this sort of thing. Rather than come up with any kind of solutions to all these many challenges we face as a country, here are the Democrats engaging in historical revisionism because they don't have very much left to offer.
Well, are you going to watch it?
I'm going to be out of town on a camping trip, as it turns out, so I will not be anywhere near TV. But I look forward to seeing the clips. I'm not sure look forward is the right word. I will watch the clips when I step away from nature and come back to whatever you call this area where. That is not ruled by squirrels.
Well, enjoy that refreshing time. I think I'm going to try to do laundry or maybe wash my hair. I have to decide between the two still. Deroy, it's always fun to have you on the show. Enjoy your trip. We look forward to talking to you again next week.
All right, Andy. Thanks a lot. Take care.
You too. Bye-bye. Deroy Murdock there on with us, Fox News contributor and weekly guest with us here on the Annie Frey Show. I want to take a quick break. I want to remind you, though, about that YouTube live chat poll. And we're going to talk about this in the 2 o'clock hour a little bit before we get to the results that Hannah will bring into the studio at 2:45. Have your political views changed in the last 10 years? Have you become more conservative, more progressive, or stayed the same? I will remind you that 10 years ago, you were probably supporting Mitt Romney for president. Just so you want to put that into context. Mitt Romney running against Barack Obama for his reelection, and we all know how that turned out. Since that point, where have you moved on the spectrum, or do you feel like you've stayed the same and maybe the world's shifted around you? Give us a comment. Make sure you vote in the YouTube live chat. We'll be back in just a minute. Don't go away.
When I can't figure it out.
The Annie Frey Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
I hear you say, look up, child.
Decision 2022 is happening. Are you ready to decide? The primary candidates are here because they want to talk to you. Decision 2022. Coverage sponsored by Air Comfort Service and TR Hughes Homes.
I am so happy to be partnering with Slim 180, and I want to talk to you about weight loss. I'll talk to you openly about mine. I had a baby almost a year ago, in 2 days, a year ago, and I worked to lose that baby weight, but what I was left with was still what I'm calling COVID weight. I know that we've all gone through some of this in the last couple of years. We've had to turn our lives upside down, and whether you wanted to or not, there have been things that have influenced your lifestyle, and a lot of us have gained weight. I wanted to get that weight off because I'm over it. I'm done. I'm moving on, and I wanted to do it in a healthy way that was going to give me a healthier body so I could have the energy I wanted to play with my kids. Maybe you're looking to have the energy to play with your kids or your grandkids. If you have tried everything, you need to still try Slim 180. If you haven't tried anything and you think, you know what, Annie's talking to me here, I want to lose the weight once and for all, try Slim 180. They will walk you through a customized plan for your needs, for your goals, and it's going to work. I have lost 20 pounds with Slim 180 since the middle of May, and I want you to have the same success that I had. Reach out to them at any of their 6 locations, or you can find them online at myslim180.com.
Transform your home into the most beautiful home in the neighborhood with Banner Construction, St. Louis's preferred James Hardy and Pella expert. Right now, the safest place to invest is in your home. Add curb appeal and value with a fresh new look you'll be proud to own. Check us out on the website or call 314-569-1050 for a free in-home design consultation. That's bannerconstruction.com or 314-569-1050 and have a banner day. Again, 314-569-1050 or bannerconstruction.com.
Looking to sell your house without all the hassle and pricey repair costs? Great, because Chris Buys Homes in St. Louis loves buying fix-up homes in any condition, as is, no fees and no commissions. Call 314-782-8000, and Chris Buys Homes in St. Louis will give you a cash offer right now. No strings attached. We buy inherited houses, divorce houses, trashed houses, even those my tenant won't pay rent houses. Call Chris at 314-782-8000 and find out how easy it is to work with us. That's 314-782-8000. Do you think your home will be difficult to sell? Easy. Our team will provide you with personal guidance through our short and simple process to turn your house into a pile of gold. Just call Chris at 314-782-8000. 314-782-8000. That's 314-782-8000. And let Chris worry about everything.
The Martins came over, we were having spaghetti when we suddenly noticed that we started getting sweaty. So we grabbed the keys and we ate it in the van. That's what my friend said. Call Cherry Kelly, man, cherrykelly.com. Give him a call, even though it's late. JerryKelly.com. Cause Jerry Kelly's always open up until late. Got certified technicians, I've been told. Will help you when it's hot and help you when it's cold. JerryKelly.com. They're fast and they're good and they got it going on. JerryKelly.com.
I'm back to doing what I love and more. Thanks to the Good Feet store.
I'm a martial artist, a pilot, mountain biker, hiker. The thing that brings me down is my feet. When my wife finally talked me into going into the Good Feet store, the salesperson there immediately started investing himself in my problem. This is not something that you could solve online. There's got to be somebody there that can help you find that fit. You put in the art supports and your day becomes better and the clouds go away and it's a good life. I wear them all the time. Good Feet has saved the day.
Call 314-317-9494 or visit one of our 2 locations on Olive, Catty Corner from TGI Fridays, or in Shiloh, Illinois, across from Deerberg's.
Thanks to the Good Feet store.
Individual results may vary. Consult your physician for medical conditions. Visit the website goodfeetstlewis.com. Come in and try the Good Feet feeling today. Comfort, energy, performance, and pain relief. Good Feet arch supports are proudly made in the USA.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
JerryKelly.com.
You're listening to The Annie Frey Show. Find the podcast, on-demand audio, and more at 971talk.com/Annie.
All the way to the sound. To be searching for that someone that is beyond on the crowd. As you sit around feeling sorry for yourself.
Welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. A reminder, you can stream us live right now on the Odyssey app. If you ever are traveling and 97.1 doesn't come in specifically where you go, it can take the Odyssey app with you worldwide. That's pretty cool. You just find 97.1 FM Talk on the Odyssey app and you can click. I think it's a heart. Is it a heart? It's usually a heart.
It is a heart.
It is?
Yes.
I'm going to do it right now. You go to the Odyssey app and you click on the Odyssey app. It's orange with a very aesthetically pleasing A for Odyssey. And you find 97.1 FM Talk and you favorite it. And then you're just essentially listening to the radio all day. And when we're on from noon to 3, obviously we're streaming there. But the other cool thing is you can rewind the app. And if you tuned in at, let's say, 1:30, but you wanted to hear the start of the show, you just drag the cursor and then you go listen to it. You can listen to the whole show, and highly encourage you to do that. I'm not going to get too far deep into this, but do we have any sound on the FBI thing?
I could not find any sound on it.
So it was on Ingram. Jim Jordan was on Ingram last night. There was a bunch of different places where people started talking about this. Hannity had it as well. And the FBI is apparently, according to Jim Jordan, working to purge conservatives from its ranks. Now, I know you're like, no, Annie, don't say. So when Jim Jordan tweets this out and goes on the networks last night and has the scoop, so to speak, on what's going on, he puts a tweet up that also summarizes it. So I made a comment on it, and I am getting blasted on Twitter. I guess I think I commented pretty quickly on the post when it came out, so people go to click and read the replies, and I think mine is one of the first ones that came up. So I'm going to read to you here what I'm scrolling. Good grief, there's so many tweets. So many tweets.
Angry tweets too.
Yeah, oh, that's why. I don't understand the massive amount of direct hate that people, and I don't think that this happens in real life conversation. It only happens on the internet. So is it even real? Are these real people? Do I need to justify their existence on the internet as real? No, not really. But yet here they are knocking on my door. They care enough about me and what I said to participate in the conversation, but to try to ruin my day. This is Jim Jordan's tweet. Late breaking, new whistleblowers allege the FBI is purging conservatives at the Bureau. One agent, a decorated war veteran who served in Iraq and Kuwait. The FBI had the audacity to question the whistleblower's loyalty to the country. So Jim Jordan sent a letter to Christopher Wray, who's the director of the FBI, and kind of illustrates the accusations of this whistleblower. And so I said the IRS targets conservatives. The Justice Department labels law-abiding concerned citizens domestic terrorists. And the FBI purges conservatives from its ranks. We are a two-tier system. If you are a conservative, they're coming for you. I think a lot of people listening to the show right now would agree with that. I'm assuming you would. Call me on it if I'm wrong. And the responses that I'm getting, I mean, people that are just calling me names and people who are telling me, people who take what I said there and their response is 100% wrapped up in guess who? Donald Trump. I don't know how we get out of this. Because I can have a rational conversation with my friends who are on the left, who oftentimes bring up politics to me because they know that I can handle a conversation with it where we're going to probably disagree on everything at the end of the conversation that we disagreed with at the beginning of the conversation. But because we love each other, because we're friends and we care more about each other than we do our politics, it's good sport. And, we carry on. I don't understand how an individual will respond to something like what I just said there and wrap it up 100% in hatred for Trump, calling me the absolute worst of names that you can call a woman, in my opinion, and then feel like that's a win. Like if you want, I'm sure they think I'm a lost cause. And I'm sure they maybe think that you're a lost cause. But first question, how does this help them win with their narrative? How does this kind of discourse help somebody who's going to batter you and fall immediately back on the Trump thing? And I'm not like what I would consider a Trumper. And I have people in my own life who probably wish that I would spend my time here with you talking more about how awesome Donald Trump is. I think he was an amazing president. And if he runs again, I hope he wins again. It's that simple. I'm America first, not Trump first. And America first is Trump's thing. So as long as Trump is America first, we cool. If the question is, how is attacking me personally, not even addressing anything that was discussed previously, how is attacking me going to strengthen their cause? And the answer to that is obviously it's not. There's nothing about it that strengthens it. What they want to do is eliminate me. Here, Odyssey just showed up on my phone. It's supposed to be in silent mode. So the Odyssey app is working. There's nothing about that approach to political conversation that is going to bring me to their side or make me see their perspective and make me think something differently. It only pushes me further into my corner. The right does this too. That happens all the time on Twitter on both sides of the issue. My experience as being somebody who's outspoken and conservative and having people come onto my timeline just to call me a see you next Tuesday or to suggest somehow or another that I am. I mean, I can't even read on the air some of these things that they're saying to me. And I don't reply to any of them. I read pretty much all of them. They humor me, but then at the end of it, like as a full picture, it makes me sad because I don't think that there's a solution to that. Because those people don't want people like me to exist. There's no coming back for me in their eyes. I'm a waste. And I'm sure to people, there are people on the left who may want to engage in conversations on Twitter and the right comes in and blasts them in the same way. And those people are thinking there's no coming back from how far they are on the left. And maybe that's true. Is it? Is that the truth about what Twitter and social media has done? Twitter is probably the biggest hotbed of this kind of discourse. That on these particular issues, we are so far gone from one another. In the same vein, I had a conversation with, I think her name was Amanda, on Twitter. And I had made the comment about Matthew McConaughey's speech behind the White House podium and, kind of just reflecting on it. It's very difficult for me when I air those things live to absorb everything that is being said and do my job here and then immediately react to it. It's a lot easier for me, particularly, to watch it ahead of time and listen to it and then come to you with my thought out words. This is what I said yesterday. Matthew McConaughey's words were delivered in a less combative way than the standard celebrity push, but the substance is still a call for gun control in a way that won't prompt criminals to stop committing crimes, only punish law-abiding citizens from exercising their Second Amendment rights. And I had somebody reply to me who I assume was on the left, and the first thing she said to me is, not trying to troll you. And then she asked a thoughtful question. And I responded to her question, and she asked me another one, and I responded to that. But I made it clear to her that I just am not interested in engaging policy conversations on Twitter because I don't actually think it's possible to be effective. And if we engage in these political battles and feel like we're on the front lines battling for our cause on Twitter, I think it's really making it worse. Because the discourse, it's a latrine for political conversations. It's just horrific. Brad, can I read what you sent me about that when you said you read my timeline?
Yeah, go ahead.
After watching your Twitter feed, I think I know what white male privilege is.
Yes.
Do you want to elaborate on that?
Yes.
White male? Privileged white male?
So whenever I do the exact same thing that you do.
I was going to say, before you go, I hate when I interrupt like this, but I'm sorry. But I don't reply to these people. And then all of a sudden I see when Brad gets on Twitter and he starts kind of slapping people around. I'm like, Brad, you don't have to.
No, but I want to.
Okay. It's your call.
Yeah, no, I do it as much for me as I do it for you. But whenever I do the exact same thing that you do, the responses and the retorts and the
no one ever calls you female anatomy words.
Mm-mm.
Why not?
They don't call me male anatomy words either. Now they might call me stupid. They might call me, Nazi or.
I got called
like
a bimbo.
That. Yeah, I never get called anything as derogatory as what they call you. And stopping to think about it, I never get called anything as derogatory as what they refer to conservative minority people as. Whenever if you're an African American and you are a conservative, you get hammered with some really horrendous stuff. Now, not saying what they call me is bad, but I've never been attacked about my race because of it. I've never been attacked. So maybe that's what they're talking about when they're talking about white privilege.
People, I get this anytime I have a tweet that goes out there and starts to kind of grow, and I guess the word is viral. I hate that word. I always get accused of being a Fox News blonde bimbo.
I see that one on your timeline all the time.
It's kind of flattering.
They think I'm pretty.
They think you see me and you don't think that I look like a troll, but you have looked at my skin color and my hair color. It's also flattering that they call me blonde because in fact my hair is actually gray, but blonde I will take. And you assume because of my skin color and my hair color, my level of intelligence. What if we did that to people who had different skin color and hair color than I do? That would be called racist.
Mm-hmm.
Is it racist when they do it to me?
It is. It's bigoted. I don't know if it's about your race or if it's about your gender or whatever, but it's a bigoted reply because they're making a decision based on a superficial trait.
Also, folks, I don't work for Fox News. Like, Fox News doesn't really know me. They're not in tune with the Annie Frey show.
Oh, come on. You were on the show one time.
Just once. That's Rachel Campus Duffy, who is my fave.
At 5 a.m.
And it was 5:30. I was in the shower at 4, and I needed to take a shower so I would be awake enough to be able to do that hit. Are these is this conversation? I mean, where does it go from here?
I kind of wonder if maybe this is the strategy to just beat the conversation, because I don't think that a lot of people that are supporting what's going on can defend what's going on. So they'd rather throw.
They don't even address it.
No, they'd rather just beat it down and not have it happen.
Just like you said, like I have the same responses as soon as somebody on the left, who's like a Twitter person on the left, they have a big following on the left, catches wind of something I tweet and they decide to blow it up. For instance, what's her face? Alyssa Milano.
Oh yeah, I remember that one.
tweeted out. This is what I tweeted out. Name a Joe Biden policy. Before it was October 31st, 2020, because I remember tweeting that out while I was sitting around the campfire out in our yard handing out candy to trick-or-treaters. And my phone went bonkers. And it was because I tweeted it out, name a Joe Biden policy. Because the truth was, I couldn't name a Joe Biden policy. I knew that he cared about climate change, but I didn't know at that point in time, like he hadn't said like, this is what this administration stands for, because nobody asked him. He never had to. Name a Joe Biden policy. And Alyssa Milano, Samantha? Was she Samantha?
Sam? On
Who's the boss?
Yes.
Sam. Samantha? Like all the little kids right now sitting in cars are going, she said Samantha from Frozen. I'm not going to explain it. If you know, you know. She retweets it and she basically said something to the effect of like, let her have it. And the simple request, name a Joe Biden policy. And I got accused of being a Trump bimbo, of being all sorts of really nasty things for daring to ask people to name a Joe Biden policy. And the next day I tweeted out, name a Trump policy. And I got 50% of people following Trump that like Trump naming policies and 50% of people saying really horrendously awful things about Trump and about me. That was all there ever was. And I mean, I engaged in it, the name a Joe Biden policy. I was like engaging with some of these people who I thought I could have a conversation with if they were like personally attacking me, but I felt like they might be willing to have a conversation. And it's just so nasty. And I mean, listen, folks, I know many of you are saying, Annie, don't feed the trolls. Like, don't respond to them. Don't acknowledge them. I don't respond to 98% of them. There are a lot of them. And sometimes I am able to talk to someone and at the end go, that they'll say like, I'm sorry, kind of hit you hard at the end. I don't agree with you, but have a good night. That's my goal.
Yeah.
To just be kind and to show somebody who wants to pop off like that to somebody that they don't know that actually I'm a real person. I do read this stuff and we don't have to talk to each other like that. I'm not going to talk to you like that. And I'm also not going to solve on Twitter gun control.
No.
It's not going to get fixed there. And if I have one conversation with you, Brad, back and forth about gun control, it brings in all of the other masses. It's not so much that I don't want to have the conversation with that individual. It's that I don't want all of the other noise and the names and everything else that goes along with it.
Yeah.
So if you want to see some of the fantastically awful things that people were saying to me, not you, Jared, and not you, Mom and Dad, but everybody else, you can go check it out. Jared can't handle it.
Oh,
it makes
that
him
would
so
be
mad.
so incredibly frustrating, infuriating, because you can't really do anything about it except yell back at him.
It humors me that it bothers him so much. It's kind of cute.
Well, you should like it though,
Yeah.
because that's that.
Yeah, he's protecting, but he knows he doesn't really need to do a whole lot of that for me. But he still does anyway, because he's a good man. Let's take a quick break. Vote in the YouTube live chat poll. Have your political views changed in the last 10 years? How? More conservative, more progressive, stayed the same? Love to have your vote on the YouTube live chat poll. Give us a comment if you choose to do so in the live chat there. We'll be back in just a minute with more Annie Frey Show and a special Wiggins America host at 2:05. Another guest host. I'll tell you who it is in the next segment. Don't go away.
This is the Annie Frey Show. Follow Annie on Twitter at Annie Frey Show.
I'm a loser and you use it, so it's only no accuser to try and flag me down because I know you're right.
The Mark Reardon Show.
They're going to stick you in the back of the Made in Missouri FA-18 Super Hornet.
Oh, I love that.
And they will put you through the ringer for 45 minutes.
Whoa, 45 minutes? That's a long time.
Weekdays from 3 to 6 on 97.1 FM Talk.
I want to remind you that as the feds raise rates, those credit card rates that you have a little debt on, maybe a lot of debt, depends on the person and the situation. COVID was a crazy, crazy time. Whatever your personal financial situation is, are you looking for a healthy out? Well, Stewie at Stewart's American Mortgage might be able to help you with that. The bagel loan is set up for something perfectly suited to help you in this situation. If you want to do a mortgage refinance, yes, rates have gone up, but so have the credit card rates. When you get equity out of your home and you pay off that high interest credit card debt, you are going to save tons of money in interest. Stewie can set you up. He can walk you through the process so that you completely understand how it works to have no fees that all those other lenders out there are going to charge you for. It doesn't happen with Stewie. He doesn't hide them, tuck them away, roll them into the loan. They don't have done it twice. They're not there. You reach out to Stewie, you talk about the bagel loan, you talk about your personal circumstances, and he'll come up with a solution for you. 314-324-4440. That's 314-324-4440. He will compete and beat your locked-in rate. You can Google the bagel loan, NMLS number 226715.
This is a great time of the year to upgrade the energy efficiency in your home with my friends at Window World. Mark Cox here to tell you more about my experience with Window World. They replaced a couple of windows at my house. They were just panes of glass. We wanted to be able to get some airflow into the master bathroom. They came out, they gave us a free estimate, and then had the windows at seams installed in no time. Very professional, lifetime warranty I get, and you get an extra double strength glass on their replacement windows that's not common. So you're getting a great price, simply the best for less. They do front entry doors, rear entry doors. If you're looking to replace that back door or sliding glass door in your home, they've got a great selection at Window World. They're also right now offering 18 months, same as cash financing, of course, with approved credit. The preferred window of the St. Louis Blues, 314-993-1800. windowworld.com. Mark Cox here. Join me as we head to enchanting Germany to see fairy tale castles like Neuschwanstein and picturesque Bavarian villages, medieval Munich, the world-famous Hofbrauhaus, even Mozart's Salzburg in Austria, too. Join me this fall, $49.49. That includes your airfare. Call 888-733-9494 or go online today to conservativetours.com. That's conservativetours.com. Nobody wants to miss the important things in life, and if it's because of bad vision, you don't have to. Mark Cox here from my friends at Brenton Vision. They can help you out. That's why I want you to take 2 minutes today to call my friends at Brenton at 314-375-2020 or go online to BrentonVision.com. Your eyes are as unique as your fingerprint. Since Brenton Vision is the only place in Missouri offering all 7 forms of modern vision correction, they can create a customized treatment plan just for your vision. They helped my wife out. She chose the lens replacement therapy and now sees better than ever, and she loves it. You can have that same experience with Brenton Vision. They accept flex plans and medical spending plans as well at Brenton. So don't let that money expire or go to waste. See your best. Do what we did. Call Brenton Vision at 314-375-2020 or schedule online right now at BrentonVision.com.
We're all on this planet together. So join Odyssey and find your one thing. Don't buy plastic toys for your pet. Instead, look for natural materials like cotton, rope, wood, or bamboo. Join Odyssey, and together, each of us doing one thing makes a greener tomorrow. What's your one thing?
You're listening to the Annie Frey Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling Studio. In addition to heating and cooling, Air Comfort Service also offers indoor air quality, water heater, and AeroSeal duct sealing services. Get in your comfort zone with aircomfortservice.com.
If it's bumper to bumper or smooth sailing, Sue Thomas has you covered with dependable traffic. Driven by Ambassador Midwest Floor Company, the best way to deal with in-home traffic. Experience more at Ambassador Midwest Floor. The Annie Frey Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
Wonderful, stop me, steal my breath. And emeralds from mountains and thrust towards the sky, never revealing their depth. And tell me that we belong together, dress it out with the trappings of love.
Welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. This is interesting. I just popped up Yahoo just to see what was going on over there with those people. The top story on yahoo.com by Andrew Romano, West Coast correspondent, why California's primary results should worry Democrats. Well, that's kind of surprising to see. Seems to me like they're always trying to... It's like the man behind the curtain. They're trying to manifest something for the people, voters to consume in a way that makes them not see how bad the situation actually is. He writes, most days, the deep blue state of California, a place dominated and defined by Los Angeles and San Francisco, two of America's most liberal cities, is not seen as a bellwether of U.S. politics. But Tuesday wasn't most days. In this week's top two nonpartisan primaries, the overwhelmingly Democratic electorates of California's twin cosmopolitans went to the polls and did things that overwhelmingly Democrat electorates don't normally do. In San Francisco, voters easily recalled District Attorney Chesa Boudin, a poster boy for the nationwide progressive prosecutor movement. He swept into office 2 years ago, vowing to end, quote, the tough on crime policies and rhetoric of the 90s and the early 2000s. Think about saying that and winning. Prosecutor.
Calling tough on crime rhetoric.
Wow. And saying that you want to get rid of tough on crime policies.
Right.
I'm trying to think of why you would not want to be tough on crime. Not on, I'm okay with mercy. I am okay with second chances. Second chances, people get second chances and also consequences.
Mm-hmm.
You can have both.
Mm-hmm.
And the idea of rehabilitating people, there's nothing wrong with that idea, but it can't be in place of punishing criminals for crimes they've committed that have real victims, which is what this entire progressive prosecutor movement has done. I mean, it's nationwide known that we have that here in St. Louis.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's weird to me because it's the whole carrot and the stick thing, right? This prosecutor came in and he just got rid of the stick. He's like, I'm just going to use the carrot. We're going to rehabilitate people. And it's an attitude of seeing those that are victimizers as victims themselves, which they might be. They might be like part of bad circumstances or whatever, but it doesn't matter your circumstances. That doesn't ever justify bad behavior, especially bad behavior that harms or even kills other people.
More in this article, it says, according to what Chesa Boudin said, people in San Francisco are angry. They're frustrated. And he went on to have a little bit of an explanation as to why what happened. But more from this Yahoo article. And in LA, more voters appear to have cast mayoral ballots for billionaire luxury mall developer Rick Caruso, a longtime Republican turned Democrat who spent $41 million pledging to restore law and order. Then for Karen Bass, is it Bass or Bass? I think it's Bass. A prominent 6-term Democratic congresswoman who made Joe Biden's vice presidential shortlist. Caruso and Bass will now compete in a November runoff. To be fair, what happens in, say, Hollywood can reveal only so much about the rest of the midterm landscape. Few candidates can afford, like Caruso, to outspend their top opponent 10-1. outside California. A few candidates face $7.2 million recall efforts. I mean, the San Francisco one was a 20-point
it was a whooping
victory for recall. It was not close.
No. And I was telling Hannah earlier, I was kind of looking at the maps on who was voting for what. And it was common everyday people in the outlying areas of San Francisco, the people who are actually being affected by crime, that was voting to recall him. And it was the rich white liberals that were voting to retain him.
Amazing.
Mm-hmm.
This article kind of pins down some of the things that are facing Californians. Says, yet the dynamics on display this week in California also reflect the dynamics of 2022 as a whole. Impatience with the continuing disruptions of the COVID-19 era, a list that now includes astronomical gas prices and rampant inflation, unease with new signs of disorder and dysfunction like California's metastasizing homeless encampments and rising crime rates that accompanied the pandemic, and the urge to ditch whoever is in charge for something, anything different. It just makes me think, yeah, I know, right? This is what the kids say. And St. Louis, you have your opportunities.
Well, part of like even what that person is saying in that article is that it's not an admission that their policies aren't popular. They're blaming things like, well, COVID disrupts stuff, and it wasn't for COVID, we could actually do what we wanted to do, and then people wouldn't be angry.
If it weren't for COVID, folks, Donald Trump would still be the president.
You're right. There's no doubt in my mind about that.
All of the combating that he had to do throughout that process. I mean, do you remember I still want to know more about this. I hope someday it's in some documentary somewhere where Trump was at the podium and he was being Trump and Dr. Fauci is over his left shoulder, I believe. And he's like trying to swallow a smile or a chuckle. And
he covers his face.
What's he doing? But you had Dr. Birx going up there. You had the Surgeon General who would go up there. He was the one who said, don't buy masks. Fauci said, don't buy masks. He basically said, you don't really need them first. And then obviously that changed. But this whole time, there was so much push and pull. And the media wanted Donald Trump to fail more than they wanted America to beat COVID. And now look where we are. Thanks, media. D to the C. And Wiggins America when we come back.
Individual results may vary. There's no guarantee that past performance will be indicative of future results. Invest wisely.
Paid for by Chaikin Analytics. Mark Chaikin is someone you're supposed to hate. He spent 50 years on Wall Street helping to create the entire stock rating system. He's met everyone from Jim Cramer to Martha Stewart. And today, he's sharing an urgent warning to tell anyone who will listen. A very strange day is coming to America. In short, a massive and surprising new transition could determine the next group of millionaires, while leaving 99% of the public even worse off than before, says Chaikin. If you want to be on the right side of the huge new shift that he predicts is coming to the market, you absolutely must consider buying one particular type of investment now, before it's too late, he says. To give you the full story, he posted the biggest prediction of his 50-year career online at stockmarketwarning.com/radio, along with the name and ticker symbol of the #1 investment to buy right now. Go to stockmarketwarning.com/radio to learn more, free of charge. stockmarketwarning.com/radio.
If your business has accounting problems, you probably have tax problems. Hi, this is Lance Drury with the Lance Drury Law Firm in St. Louis. Running a small business is tough, and it's no surprise that companies that don't keep good books often run into tax issues. If you don't fix your accounting problems, you could be doomed to land in the same tax pitfalls every year. Call the Lance Drury Law Firm today. I can help you get out of tax trouble and stay out. If your small business doesn't have a CPA or accountant, I can help you find one. And if you already have one, I work closely with them to resolve your tax problems quickly. Make no mistake, if the numbers don't add up, the IRS will catch it. Fix your accounting and tax problems before they snowball with help from the Lance Drury Law Firm. Remember, if you have IRS issues, you have legal issues. Call attorney Lance Drury, 314-260-6120, or go to Lance, DRURYlaw.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Hi guys, are you struggling with erectile dysfunction and sick of the pills? Well, today, Wednesday, June 8th, we're running a one-day special you won't want to miss out on. Pineview Medical Clinic uses the most powerful form of wave therapy, clinically proven to open up and repair blood vessels. 60 studies now say this technology can get rid of your erectile dysfunction. If you're ready to put a stop to your ED, grab your phone, call us now, and you'll qualify for the assessment, plus an enhanced gift that produces powerful results in the bedroom, totally free. You're going to love that. And today only, we're offering 4 tune-up treatments to our patients free. This is our most lucrative offer ever, and it's only good today, Wednesday, June 8th. It's worth almost $1,000, but call today, Wednesday, and qualify totally free. 314-530-7777. That's 314-530-7777. Guys, put a stop to your erectile dysfunction and get your love life back. Call Pineview Medical Clinic now to qualify. This offer ends today. 314-530-7777.
KFTK FM Florissant, driven by the Bomarito Automotive Group, 97.1 FM Talk.
An Odyssey station.
A California man accused of trying to kill a Supreme Court justice. Lisa Brady, Fox News. The suspect, 26-year-old Nicholas Roski of Simi Valley, is due in court at this hour, facing federal charges of attempted murder of a Supreme Court justice. He had a gun when he was arrested overnight outside the Maryland home of Justice Brett Kavanaugh, first spotted by deputy U.S. Marshals.
We're told he called the police on himself at 1:42 in the morning. The Montgomery County Police arrived. They found a knife. They found zip ties. They found pepper spray. Also, that gun, specifically a Glock pistol.
Fox's David Sponge, the criminal complaint filed a short time ago, says Roski told detectives he was upset about a leaked draft opinion on abortion and the recent school shooting in Texas. There's been around-the-clock security at justices' homes after protests erupted over that leaked draft opinion. Wyoming Republican Senator John Barrasso pointing a finger at the Senate Majority Leader.
I believe Chuck Schumer bears some responsibility because he has contributed to this atmosphere of directly attacking members by name of the Supreme Court.
The White House says President Biden condemns the suspect's actions and any violence or efforts to intimidate justices. President Biden urging states to step up on fighting crime, noting billions of dollars approved by Congress.
It's time the states and the localities spend the money they have to deal with crime, as well as retrain police officers, as well as provide for more community policing.
This as the White House also continues to call on Congress to act on gun measures. A House committee hearing testimony today on recent mass shootings. The president on his way to the Summit of the Americas being held in L.A. and expected to focus in part on migration and climate change. America is listening to Fox News.
I tend to second-guess dinners with friends because they're often interrupted by diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or oily stools. It turns out I have EPI, or exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, which means I'm missing the enzymes needed to digest food. My doctor prescribed Creon, pancrelipase, an oral prescription medication that replaces pancreatic digestive enzymes. Creon treats EPI due to cystic fibrosis, chronic pancreatitis, pancreatectomy, or other conditions.
Creon may increase your chance of fibrosing colonopathy, a rare bowel disorder. Tell your doctor if you have a history of intestinal blockage or scarring or thickening of your bowel wall, if you're allergic to pork, or if you have gout, kidney problems, or worsening of painful swollen joints. Call your doctor if you have any unusual or severe gastrointestinal symptoms or allergic reactions. Take Creon as directed by your doctor and always with food. Do not chew capsules, as this may cause mouth irritation. Other side effects may include blood sugar changes, gas, dizziness, sore throat, and cough. These are not all the side effects of Creon.
Creon is the #1 prescribed EPI treatment. Ask your doctor about Creon for EPI and visit Creon.com or call 800-633-9110 to learn more. That's CREON.com.
Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling Weather with Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Scattered showers and thunderstorms still in place as we go through our Wednesday afternoon with a mix of clouds and sunshine and some gusty winds. 1 or 2 storms could be on the strong side. The high hanging around 80 degrees. Tonight, clear skies, 70s this evening, 60 for the overnight low. Thursday's a beautiful day, sunny and nice, 80 with more scattered showers and thunderstorms during the day on Friday with a dynamite weekend on the way. This is 97.1 FM Talk, Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
The Mark Cox Morning Show.
Despite being falsely accused, I'm relieved that justice ultimately prevailed in my case.
Michael Sussman there gloating a little bit, I guess you could say, because he was found not guilty of the same thing that they found General Flynn guilty of.
Weekdays from 5 to 9 a.m.
The network, several of them jumped on this because they could say it was a stinging defeat for John Durham. Well, who's John Durham?
They haven't covered it at all.
On 97.1 FM Talk.
Feeling the pinch of higher prices?
Golden Oak Lending can save you money with their low fixed rates.
James Hawkins here, president of Golden Oak. You can offset today's high prices by using the low interest equity in your home to pay off credit cards, make home improvements, or simply put cold hard cash back in your pocket.
Start saving money and skip 2 mortgage payments. Call 314-567-GOLD today.
Golden Oak Landing, short my blues.
NMLS 114937.
In the wee hours of the night, when everyone else is fast asleep, you're the one on third shift, burning the midnight oil. When a part fails and everything comes to a grinding halt, regardless of what the clock on the wall says, you leap into action. Grainger is with you and all the ones who get it done. With 24/7 customer support by phone or click to chat. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Is your current home loan the right fit for you? Rising home values mean that you could have more home equity than you might imagine. And if you're considering a refi, an expertly chosen loan from Loan Depot could save you thousands. Ask about their smart term loans, cash out, and over 300 loan options to find just the right mortgage loan for you. Call now, 866-888-LOAN, or go to loandepot.com. Loan Depot, where home means everything. Rates are subject to change. Equal housing opportunity lender. NMLS number 174457. Licensed in all 50 states.
Nature Valley has helped restore access to 10,000 miles of national park trails and counting, because everyone deserves to experience what's out there. Head over to your local park to see for yourself. Nature Valley, life happens out there.
Hi, this is Ken and Laurie Heisey of Heisey Advisory Group. We're dedicated to helping individuals and families work toward their financial goals.
If you're retiring soon, join us Saturday at 9:30 a.m. for your Retirement Highway.
Investment advisory services by individuals through AE Wealth Management, LLC.
There's a music station that fits your taste at Odyssey.com. Download the app for instant access to hundreds of music stations and listen live to 97.1 FM Talk. The Odyssey app. Download it or stream from 971talk.com.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Come on, turn the radio on. It's Saturday and I won't be long.
Don't get me wrong, I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not a married sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not a married sweetheart.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
Welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. It's Wednesday. It's 2 o'clock on a Wednesday, which means you're halfway done with your week. So thank you for spending some of that time with us here on the YouTube channel, the Annie Frey YouTube channel. If you just go onto YouTube and type in Annie Frey, Frey, you will see our channel and you'll see that we're live. You can watch us in studio and you can also vote in the live chat poll. Have your political views changed in the last 10 years? Become more conservative, more progressive, or stayed the same? And like I said in the last segment, remember 10 years ago was when Mitt Romney and Barack Obama were going against each other in that 2012 election. So that is 10 years ago. That seems like it shouldn't be that long ago. And if you are watching on the live stream, then you already know who our guest host is for Wiggins America. But let's just get to it.
Wiggins! Oh, Wiggins!
Be heard, D to the C. Welcome back to the studio. Are you ready for this?
I just get a kick out of that.
How much pressure do you feel right now filling in for Ryan Wiggins on Wiggins America?
Should I feel pressure?
I mean,
probably gas, but I'll hold it in. I'll hold it in.
Thank you. Yeah, you can go back to the other studio for that. So we have turned this segment over while Ryan is vacationing with his lovely family, and we have decided to allow people to take over Wiggins America. And today is D to the C's, and we say cover what you want, bring to the table what you want. So we're excited to hear D to the C what you have to say.
Cool. So I wanted to bring to the table the events that have happened recently with the Board of Aldermen and the indictment from the feds that have been the top story here in St. Louis for the past few days.
Yeah, we have not really. I know Mark Reardon has been covering this very closely, and I'm sure Mark Cox has as well. We have not really talked about this. So for our audience, just give us the brass tacks of what took place in St. Louis. Being an Illinoisan, finding out that there's corruption going on in St. Louis, I'm like, oh, we're all about that in Illinois.
So in accordance to what I understand, John Collins Mohammed took a bribe. Also, there is Lewis Reed is also involved in that, and there's one other alderman who is involved with that. His name is eluding me right now. Long story short, I'm looking at this, and the main thing that stuck out to me when I was listening to the story was this has been a 2-year operation by the feds. And the most that anybody's put up dollar-wise that they've gotten bribes for is $2,500. I'm looking at that as I'm like, that's all you guys got was $2,500, 2 years of taxpayers' money, and you got $2,500.
So how did these bribes work? Do you know the ins and outs of how the money was exchanging hands or what the aldermen were doing?
Well, in accordance to what I've read, John Doe, this person that is doing all the talking, has some businesses, and he was looking for some tax relief, and for lack of a better term, and he put some money in the hands of said aldermen. And according to what I've seen news-wise, they have documentation, they have audio of the transactions taking place or whatnot. And so that's basic. And now we're finding out they're saying something about Mr. Tony Weaver, who is in North County.
Alderman?
Yes. And he's having some issues with COVID. Not that he's got COVID, but there's
COVID relief money?
There's some shadiness going on with
funny
the
business.
Yes.
All right, Brad. I mean, how many people who are St. Louis City residents just think, of course, this stuff is going on?
Well, as an Illinois resident, if this happened in Illinois, I go, I can see that.
Yeah. Wouldn't you be more surprised that the feds investigated everything and found nothing?
Yeah, I would be shocked, and I'd want those feds that investigated to be investigated because they're clearly on the table.
Are you a city resident, D?
I'm in the county.
You're in the county?
Yes.
How does this rub?
I'll tell you what, it really is at a point of how everything is being run now. It's not good. It's not a good look at all. You know, it pretty much shames the city, for what's been going on, and just to speak candidly, when you have a whole entire unit that is being ran by people of color, and then you get this happen in the interim of what's going on, just doesn't make it's like it's either 6 in one hand or half a dozen in the other. Either they are doing it or somebody is setting them up. I would like to get down to the bottom of it and figure it out. In my opinion, just like I said, $2,500 that's almost petty crime, because I've seen a lot worse being done, in the city with people being corrupt or whatnot. So I used to work on a dump truck, so getting those bids or whatnot, there were certain steps that you had to take. A lot of moving and grooving going on behind the scenes.
Yeah.
It's
very political.
Yeah, it is.
And you got to think it's very political everywhere. If that's how if that's how the game is played, you can either play the game or lose.
Right.
So that has to be breeding throughout the course of the city. I love the city of St. Louis, and I am proud of the city of St. Louis, but I also, being a 38-year-old female, do not feel safe here myself. And I have a pit in my stomach if I'm walking from the parking lot to the Busch Stadium in a Cardinals game and back again, especially back at night. And I don't want that for St. Louis. I want it to be better. I mean, when you look as a county resident, D, and you look at the things that are plaguing the city that you drive into every day for work here at the radio stations, what are the things that you see that are hurting the city of St. Louis the most?
Well, part of the problem is that we have some grown people who are more like children and not taking care of the business that needs to be taken care of. There was a time when, as a young adult, you had places to go to, be it skating rinks, be it uh library, be it parks, recreation, places where you could go to have some peace of mind or whatnot and enjoy yourself. Movie theater, they don't even have drive-ins anymore.
Mm.
I think there's only one left. It's on your side too.
Well, there's a couple. I think there's one in Belleville, and I know there's one in Litchfield, and I heard that they were playing Maverick, Top Gun Maverick, and I think that would be a pretty cool way to take in that movie. But yeah, I mean, there are really, like, City Garden down Market Street is really a very neat place to go visit. That if you were to take your kids down there, downtown St. Louis, they would enjoy the art that is there and the uniqueness of it. But who wants to bring their kids and park their car downtown and right now and go experience these great things? We need more great things to liven up the city, but if it's not safe, people don't want to experience it.
You know, and the part of the problem is we can go back to family upbringing, because if you don't give them the tools necessary to do what they need to do, or to show them how to enjoy themselves, you know, what do you expect is going to happen? You know, I've said this before, you know, family structure is everything. So I stand very tall on that one. So if you want to test me on that, go right ahead.
Well,
I'll be right here.
let me ask you about that, because I think that the role of the father has been so greatly diminished politically. It's a political poker chip for people to use to try to win a hand. And the government sees an opportunity to step in and fill a void that is created by absent fathers. And it causes people to become very reliant on the support that the government is there to offer. And, you know, I'm somebody specifically on my personal soapbox issue of being pro-life. I am very in tune with understanding that we need to help these mothers and not demonize and criticize these mothers, because they are the ones who have the choice. We need to care about the baby, obviously, but the way to do that is to care for the mother and to provide and support that mother. But in the midst of all of this, the family unit has been discarded. The idea that the family unit is a sacred entity in our society and culture is it's pushed away. It's pushed to the side.
Yeah. And sometimes you if you look at it for what the reality of what it is, some of this has been planned out by somebody, you know, to destroy the family structure. You know, the family structure should be man, woman, and child, period. You know, father, mother, and children. You know, that's the basic structure of family. When you break that down, you have problems, you know, and it has also put women more in the forefront of saying, okay, we're you know, we can do this, or we can do anything that a man can do, which, and I'm not in disagreement with it. I just think that women are being put in position to have to do things that men do, because men don't know how to be men, you know, what it all boils down to. And kind of we can pin that over, like, look at our mayor. She is in a position where she has to defend herself with what is going on.
What do you think about the politicians who have been in charge of the city? I mean, Tashara Jones now, the previous mayor, Lyda Crewson. I don't look at the city, and I've been coming downtown St. Louis since January of 2009. So I've been a frequenter of this city. It's not getting better.
It has a lot of flaws still. There are a lot of things that need to be done to improve what's going on. You know, I look at the scenario where this money that the city was given or whatnot has not been allotted to anything worth, you know, saving the city. You know, but people are arguing over where this money should go to or where it should be allocated to or whatnot. If it was up to me,
yeah, where do you want to see the money go?
Let's fix homelessness first. Start putting jobs, making jobs, and even though jobs are hiring right now, make it make sense so that people can make a living, a decent living, and not have to depend on anybody else for anything. Give these children a place to go to have some type of recreation, keep their minds occupied with being able to do things. You go in any other city, any other country or whatnot, you know, their children are being trained to do things right now that our kids are oblivious to. But we sit with them and watch them hold a cell phone all day long. They're attached to it.
Mm-hmm.
So what are we going to do? Are we going to continue to allow them to be attached to a device that can't tell them how to save their life? Are we going to arm them with what needs to be done so that they are able to move forward and be, a regular citizen?
Do you think that the culture right now is teaching kids how to provide for themselves? And the necessity, like when you get to a certain age, you do not have a choice whether or not to provide for yourself. If you're hungry and you want to eat, you have to go out there and provide for yourself.
Correct.
That idea of hard work that pays off, seizing opportunities, it's kind of a hard message to find today.
Well, we grew up at 16, we were ready to get a job because we had goals. I want a car. I want to be able to buy my own clothes. I want to be able to go out when I want to go out. You know, they don't have it now. That is not what I see now. Most kids don't even think about getting a job. Like, well, what are you gonna do for summer? You gonna
They
get a
don't
job?
even want to drive.
No, that blows my mind.
Yeah.
Can you go back to when you were, I'm sure I know your answer, Brad,
Mhm.
but when you go back to the time when you were 15 and maybe you started doing driver's ed and you, like, freedom was on the other end of that driver's license.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. I can hear my dad now. Your mom's crying. Why is she crying? You just took off in the car.
I mean, it was a whole new world to
Yeah.
experience,
Yeah.
to get behind a car and go away.
Mm-hmm.
And these kids don't, to me, the fact that they don't want that indicates that they have everything probably not just at their fingertips, but in their fingertips and their phones that makes them not need to go explore anything or do anything. And I don't know if it's the parents' fault or potentially, my future fault for providing too much or whatever it might be.
I think that's all parents, though. You always want your kids to have better than what you've had. You know what I'm saying? But I think it boils down to teaching them how to be responsible for a lot of things that they're not ready for, that they don't understand or they don't get. I told my daughter the other day, it's like, if you can't tell me what street we're on and how to get back to home, we have a problem.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You got to teach them that thing. Did you want to, Hannah, when you came of age, did you want a car or to be able to drive? I should say?
Yes. The day I turned 15, I was at the DMV and then I got a car 2 weeks before I turned 16 and I would sit in my car in the driveway just thinking about what I could do. Like I could go to the grocery store. I could play whatever music I wanted. 8 a.m. when I turned 16, my grandma took me to the DMV and I was like jumping up and down. I was so excited. And to your comment earlier, Annie, about kids not wanting to drive anymore, I wonder if it's because, one, kids are more lazy. I don't know if that's because of, COVID or what. Or is it because of, like you said, their phone satisfies all their needs. Their freedom is social media.
They don't have to. I mean, you wanted to get in your car and go drive and see your friends.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
But their friends
But your friends are all on your phone anytime you want. Do you spend time? I mean, you're a youth pastor. Do you spend time around kids? Are they on their phones?
Not when we're doing youth, but yeah, they're on their phones. And you know what, though? A lot of the kids in my youth group, we go through phases. We're on one of those younger phases, so they're junior high age mostly now. Their parents are really strict about their phone usage. They don't just give them a phone and so some of the kids don't even have phones, which is in a way it's refreshing. I mean, you want the kid to have a phone in case they need to make an emergency phone call or something like that. But I think you can do that without giving them a smartphone.
Yeah, we had to do that. So my daughter wound up doing some things on the phone I was looking at and I was like, okay, who is this? I don't know. Oh, well, okay. I tell you what, since you don't know, we're going to end this right now. So it was immediately we got the cheapest flip phone we could find.
Yeah.
It was like, this is your phone from
She
now
can
on.
reach you. You can reach her.
Exactly.
Yeah. Can you stick around for another segment?
Sure.
All right. Fantastic. Let's take a quick break. D to the C in with us, filling in for Ryan Wiggins, who's on vacation in Wiggins, America. You did a great job. I want to talk more about phones and social media and what it's doing right now to our kids specifically when they've had a barrage of challenges thrown at them in the last few years. How does this play into it? We'll talk about that on the Annie Frey Show when we come back. Don't go away.
This is the Annie Frey Show. Find the podcast, on-demand audio, and more at 971talk.com/Annie. Decision 2022 is happening. Are you ready to decide? The primary candidates are here because they want to talk to you. Decision 2022. Coverage sponsored by Air Comfort Service and TR Hughes Homes.
Speaking of Air Comfort Service, if you haven't had your air conditioner tuned up recently, you need to reach out to them and schedule that appointment right now. It's going to save you money in the long run, because if you put this kind of maintenance, this tune-up type of business with your big expensive items that you have in your house, if you put it off, something's going to happen. You're not going to be prepared for it, and it's going to cost way more down the line. 314-513-0091. That's 314-513-0091. Air Comfort Service is a phone call away. If you need to replace an air conditioning unit or a furnace, when you reach out to Air Comfort Service, they're going to talk to you about their double carrier cool cash rebates. You're going to have the opportunity to save a ton of money using the rebates that Air Comfort Service is going to help put you in connection with. Also, you can talk to you about 0% financing up to 72 months. This makes this process a whole lot more affordable. Choose the best in the business. Air Comfort Service. They're kind. They're St. Louis family-owned and operated business, and they're waiting for your phone call. 314-513-0091, online at aircomfortservice.com.
Discover your next favorite podcast with the Odyssey app. From Who Done It to How to Do It, we have the biggest podcast for your favorite genre. True crime, history, entertainment, and more. Getting ready for the midterm elections? No matter what aisle you lean towards, we have the podcast for you. From CNN to Fox News to exclusive podcasts from your local station. Find your next binge on the Odyssey app.
Updating your home with James Hardie Siding has never been more popular. With all of the options available, you need a partner to maximize your investment. The rising prices on vinyl siding has made Hardie Siding a great alternative. Siding Express is ready to refresh the appearance of your home or totally transform the look by installing Hardie Shake, board and batten, lap siding, or a stone accent to make it your dream home again. Siding Express is an elite preferred James Hardie contractor. Need ideas? Go to sidingexpress.com and schedule a free, no-obligation consultation today.
Diabetic neuropathy, cold feet, resting leg pain, foot wounds that don't heal. These are classic signs of peripheral artery disease, or PAD. Left untreated, PAD can lead to gangrene and even lower limb amputation. Modern Vascular is a healthcare leader in the outpatient treatment of PAD. Last year, over 10,000 patients across the country chose Modern Vascular for the diagnosis and treatment of their PAD. Modern Vascular clinics consistently receive high Google review ratings and have received over 500 five-star patient reviews in the last 12 months. In fact, Modern Vascular has been recognized as the best PAD treatment specialist in the country. If you or someone you love is experiencing the symptoms of PAD, don't ignore it. Visit modernvascular.com today or call 844-4PAD-HELP to schedule a consultation in our local clinic. That's 844-4PAD-HELP.
Looking to sell your house without all the hassle and pricey repair costs? Great! Because Chris Buys Homes in St. Louis loves buying fix-up homes in any condition, as is, no fees and no commissions. Call 314-782-8000, and Chris Buys Homes in St. Louis will give you a cash offer right now. No strings attached. We buy inherited houses, divorce houses, trashed houses, even those my tenant won't pay rent houses. Call Chris at 314-782-8000 and find out how easy it is to work with us. That's 314-782-8000. Do you think your home will be difficult to sell? Easy. Our team will provide you with personal guidance through our short and simple process to turn your house into a pile of gold. Just call Chris at 314-782-8000. 314-782-8000. That's 314-782-8000. And let Chris worry about everything.
This is the Annie Frey Show. Follow Annie on Twitter at Annie Frey Show.
But tonight is the night we can really let go. My girlfriend's out of town and I'm all alone. Your boyfriend's on vacation and he doesn't have to know. No.
Welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. Thanks for being with us. A couple comments coming through on the YouTube live chat here about what we were discussing. Kids, social media, access to devices. You know, you were talking about you were talking about how you got your kiddo a flip phone.
Yeah.
When they say they want phones, they don't care to call anybody. That's my experience. They want the smart part, not the phone part.
Mine is a straight YouTuber all day long. She can flip through YouTube. I'm like, is your thumb okay?
Lots of YouTube watching. Dan says social media does more harm to social skills than anything. Mm-hmm. And we were talking about kids not wanting to like drive anywhere or go do anything now like we all used to when we were kiddos. And Margie says kids cannot afford gas right now. That's for sure.
Well, if they don't work, obviously.
Yeah, that's also true. Yeah.
Even if they do work, it's hard to pay for it.
And I'll say this too, though. I noticed that maybe 5, 6, 7 years ago, kids were still not interested in driving and gas wasn't that expensive then. And I think it was more kind of what you were talking about off the air, Hannah, was that people drive them wherever they need to go. There's no need for them to do it. Just do it for me.
Mm-hmm.
And and see, that's the attitude right there. That is definitely the wrong attitude. Do it for me. That is just, what are we teaching our kids here? Some things you got to be able to do for yourself.
So, and I don't know if like this is the appropriate place to say this, but one of my jobs as a youth pastor is actually you're ministering to kids, but you're also ministering to the parents and helping parents understand that your job as a parent is to work yourself out of a job, right? Your job as a parent is to make sure that your kids can grow up and function on their own without you. So things like bulldozer parenting, lawnmower parenting, helicopter parenting.
Whoa, those are some terms.
All sorts of things. So
what's a lawnmower parent?
Well, they go in front of their kids and knock down any obstacle that would be in their way so their kid can just stroll right on through. They're the parent that rolls out the red carpet for their kid.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. You said some other terms too. Helicopter. What is that?
Helicopter parent is the one that is just hovering above their kid. And they generally,
I know that.
What was the other one? You had one more?
Like
Bulldozer. Yeah, that's like more extreme.
You have a lovely mother.
Yes. Love you, Mom. Sorry.
It's a more extreme one.
About that one.
I do know that my better half is listening right now, so I am not going to say a word.
You know what? You kind of just did.
Yeah. Sometimes not saying a word is saying a word.
So I think back to being raised in the 80s and the 90s, and it was not like that in the 80s and the 90s. We had expectations for us. I've told
us. We had chores.
Okay, so this is the chore situation that I grew up with. My dad would print off a piece of paper and it had each of us 3 kids' names on it, and we all had our individual chores.
Right.
And I think we got a quarter a chore. But I mean, like it could be rake the leaves in the front yard, it was a big front yard because they lived on a farm. And it was a quarter. It could be clean.
Did you say this was the 80s?
80s and 90s.
Oh my God.
What?
What can you buy with a quarter? Wait for the bomb?
It wasn't about that.
I'm sorry. In the city, we call it the bomb pop truck.
The bomb pop truck.
You guys would call it the ice cream man.
I lived in the country and never got the experience or pleasure of seeing the ice cream truck.
What?
I know.
Oh my God.
You feel sorry for me now, don't you? So
you're gonna have to come hang out with us one day and get you.
I would love to do that. I would love a good ice cream. I've had ice cream from ice cream trucks, but like only in my adult life, and it's
not
still
the same.
It's still pretty exciting though. So I can only imagine.
You never had the pleasure of chasing the ice cream man down the street.
No, no. The mosquito spraying truck we would see go down the street and.
Yay!
But
you know what? True story. As little kids, we used to ride our bikes behind the smoke truck. We
Yeah.
called it the smoke truck. It was the coolest thing
Well,
ever.
it was what you did.
And now half of us are infected by that.
Yeah. You probably haven't suffered from other things because of whatever that inoculated you from.
Probably, mosquitoes don't bother us. So,
So we would get chores every day and we would earn a quarter for them. But my dad also had a section on the bottom half of the page for demerits.
Ooh.
Wow.
And so you would earn your money on the top half of the page, and on the bottom half of the page, you would lose a quarter for every demerit you would get. And, by the end of the week, you might have earned $5 or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And it was 50-50 that I would end the week owing my parents money.
Wow.
I get more demerits than I would do chores. I did my
Talking
chores.
back?
Talking back. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what I did. I
That
guess
was always my problem.
Were you
terrible
mischievous?
No. I was
You
a
sure?
really good kid. I was mouthy.
Oh, well, there you go.
So, and they
hence,
didn't stand for
now
it.
you see why she's on the radio.
I was gonna say
I've told
I
my
would
dad
same
many,
issue.
many times. Look how good I did.
Right.
This whole time it was like professional development.
Yes, all along. You were preparing for something.
I was, and they helped me do that for sure.
That's what's up.
So kids, when you look at a kid on a phone, I've seen this. My son's 12, so I'm around 12-year-olds, but we also have coached, and my husband teaches middle school, so I'm around these kids and have been for years. And more, I'm seeing kids. They get together in a collective group of people, and then they sit and look at their phones together. Yes. It's the weirdest thing ever. If you were an alien from outer space and you landed and you were like, oh, how do these people socialize? And you saw that, you'd be like, what are they doing?
Take me back.
It's like a new gang thing with them. I don't get it.
Sometimes they're talking to each other on their phones.
You're sitting right there.
Speak.
Right.
Use your words. So I tell my little kids, use your words.
See, and that's the thing. Use your words. Where was I at the other day? I went to some fast food restaurant, and the kid just handed me my drink, didn't say anything. Just
at like a restaurant.
And didn't say anything. I'm like, man, where are your social skills at, bro?
That happens all the time now. Like you'll be at a fast food place, and they're like,
So every day,
what is
no
that?
matter what
Can
we're
you
talking
not say
about.
hello? Hey, how are you doing?
It comes back to fast food service and it's
I'd
rapid
be
decline.
really
happy if they
fired
just
up
handed
over
me my
here
drink.
about
I'm gonna be honest with you. If they just handed me my drink, I'd be happy.
I'm sorry. I need a little social skills going on, so I know that you're alive.
Well, they don't usually take my orders. Kind of what I'm getting.
Oh,
at. But,
here we go.
But no, I just kind of wanted to point it. Like I've noticed that with kids, they have anxiety about social interactions now.
It's because they don't do it.
Because they haven't done it since they've been little.
Right.
We also took them out of social situations for, in some cases, 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
With COVID lockdown.
Yes.
Students in schools, I've heard this from multiple teachers. Kids don't want to take their masks off because they're scared to show their friends or their classmates their face. They're scared of what people are going to say about their face.
That is terrible.
That's too much. That is too much.
It's real though. And it's like what these kids are dealing with on top of all of the other pressures, not to mention the fact when you get a phone, when you put a smartphone in a kid's hand, like you were saying, who are you talking to? And they don't know. The horrors in my head are endless as to where that negative situation goes.
The internet is not just an opening for your kid to go out in the world, but it's an opening to allow the world to come into your kid.
Correct. So you definitely have to stay on top. Look, I love my daughter to death. I'll tell you up front, and I'm going to be there to protect her hand on foot, whatever it takes to get it done. But I just had some things you just have to put your foot down on and say, okay,
it's
enough
for
of
them.
this.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. And for the government to come in and tell you what you can and can't do, why are you not saying anything about this?
Yeah.
What makes sense to say something about you don't?
Brian on YouTube says, is Annie a bulldozer parent? How did you define that?
Okay. My wife sent me a graphic that she had. So this is how it defines bulldozer parent. So apparently I missed a step between lawnmower and bulldozer. There's also snowplow parent.
Whoa.
Oh, there's 9 of them here. Oh, I'll get into that later if we want to.
We don't necessarily have time for 9.
But bulldozer parents take it up yet another step, pushing away any obstacle that might cause frustration, setbacks, or especially academically.
Absolutely not.
No.
I am. I tell my kids on a regular basis is that you cannot control the emotions that you feel, but you can only control, the only thing that you have control of is your behavior and how you choose to handle those emotions.
Right.
And if you're in a situation and it's incredibly unfair, you cannot control the other people who are involved in that situation.
This is true.
You can only control how you behave and react to said situation. So, I've had to tell this from a young age, all the way up to 12 and a half, where we are right now, that if something makes you really angry or really sad and you have an outward expressive emotion about that, That is okay. But you are the one who's in charge of what your behavior and your actions do to the people who are around you. And you are the one who has to keep your emotions from, overflowing into somebody else's life where you elicit an emotion from them that's going to cause another problem.
Right.
And it's a very hard thing to do, to be a little kid and to be like where Molly is right now. She doesn't like something. She cries until she gets what she wants. That's what babies do.
Right.
That's how you know what they need. And she's getting to that point now. She'll be 1 on Friday. She's getting to that point now where she's starting to understand how to work people.
Yes.
And who she can work and how she can work them.
Mhm.
And thus goes the process where as a parent, you have to start saying no.
Right.
Because they can understand no.
Mm-hmm.
And the kids, they have to understand no. Like I will absolutely stand up for and defend my kids to anyone, anytime. But they need to have the opportunity to do that first. And they also need to know their role in any sort of conflict that exists. If they get a bad grade, it's not the teacher's fault.
Right.
It's their fault if they didn't put the time in and effort in. It's their fault if they didn't turn in the homework.
Right.
If they didn't turn in the homework the day it was due, and the morning it was due, and then they did it at school and tried to turn it in that evening and they got all the answers right and the teacher doesn't want to accept that homework, that is the teacher's prerogative.
Correct.
And if I think, wow, that's kind of harsh, that doesn't matter. My emotion might be, oh, come on, like give them a break. But that's my emotion. My actions are my choice. And me going in and bulldozing into a classroom and yelling at the teacher for being too hard on my kid, heck no.
Mm-mm.
I want my kids' teachers to teach them those lessons. I'm trying to teach them at home. And if they don't apply in, air quotes, real life for these kids, then I seem like a liar. It's not easy though.
No, it's not. It wasn't back then and it's not now. It's even, 10 to the 10th power now. So
I also just like.
Did you ever get in trouble at school?
I got a detention in 6th grade because there was a boy in my class who was really mean to me on a regular basis, just picked on me all the time.
Probably had a crush on you.
I don't know if that was the problem. But we were actually going to go to the field trip was to go to the local juvie to go tour
really?
juvenile hall.
Really?
And
I never got that.
Me either.
It's like Scared Straight.
Go to Lutheran schools, folks. It was to go to tour the local juvenile hall and to see how that functioned. And I remember the teacher saying, I've assigned you which cars you're riding into the field trip. On the field trip, there will be no complaining about who you're riding with on the field trip. And if there is any complaining, you will get an immediate detention.
Ooh.
And the teacher who picked on me also in a kind of caring way, I'll put it that way. The teacher put me in the car just with this other punk kid.
Just you and him?
Just the two of us, just to screw with me pretty much, and probably him. And he goes, and in this car, it's Annie, and I won't say his name. And I went, oh, and he goes, detention.
Oh,
and I was like,
wow.
yeah, I know. So I had to write sentences in that one. So I feel like
I will not complain.
I
will
was
not complain.
I was
will
on
not
the wrong
complain.
side of the law there. Like, I don't feel like that was fair. And then I've told this story before. In high school, I completely forgot to do a book report, and it was in advanced biology or something. And it had to be, you had to read a book that had anything to do with science. And so I went upstairs to the library den thing that my parents had up there, and they had Michael Crichton's Jurassic Park. So I was like, oh, I'll go with that. That's science, right? So I researched on the internet, and this is the year 2000, I would think. I researched other Jurassic Park book reports.
Oh.
And I read the book reports so that I could do my report based on book reports instead of having to read what was like a 400 or something page book. Plus, I'd seen the movie, so I had to have like a little bit of a foundation.
Right.
And she busted me on it. Like, this is before I even knew what Google was, folks. That's I remember her saying, folks, there's this thing called Google, and she basically Googled everybody's book report papers, and literally like half the class got detentions for cheating.
Wow.
and I was one of them. I'm a
Dun, dun,
felon.
dun.
My felony record is long.
Still hasn't gotten past it.
No, I still feel really guilty about it.
She knows every detail of that story,
I
so that
do.
says something.
I do. I got what I deserved on that one. The
Well, at
sixth
least
grade
your
one was
dad didn't show up
totally
at school.
bogus. Did you have that?
Man, look.
What'd you What'd you do?
Ooh, let me keep it 100 with you people. My dad used to work for a trash hauling company.
Uh-huh.
It was a notorious trash hauling company that had white trucks with a bright orange stripe around it.
Okay.
You cannot miss these trucks anywhere they show up in St. Louis. I'm walking down the hallway. This is elementary school. And one of the trucks is parked in front of the school. Clearly, he's
What's he
not
doing
working
there?
sales today
Yeah.
to build up business. So I just head straight to the office like, yep, he's standing there.
What's he doing?
Apparently, I said
What were
something to
you
a
doing?
teacher that was inappropriate.
You got a demerit?
No.
More than a demerit.
More than a demerit. That was the topic of conversation at the house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Were you more afraid of getting in trouble at school or at home?
It was either which way. You knew it was coming, so it was like, all right, well, let's see what it is when I get home.
Ooh.
Did you get it at home? Folks at home
you
now.
just sitting in the window waiting for him to pull on up. You can
Yeah.
hear the truck before it even hit the block, so it's like he's on his way.
Oh.
Did you think about running?
Where?
No, where that truck couldn't go.
Yeah.
All right.
There was no getting away from him.
Let's take a quick break. More Annie Frey Show right around the corner. That poll on the Annie Frey YouTube live chat is up, and you need to go vote in it right now. And if you would be so kind, subscribe to the Annie Frey Show YouTube channel. It's Annie Frey, F-R-U-Y. In the live chat, have your political views changed in the last 10 years? Are you more conservative, more progressive, or have you stayed the same? Hannah has the results on the other side of this break. Don't go away.
This is the Annie Frey Show. Follow Annie on Twitter at Annie Frey Show. The Mark Cox Morning Show.
Willie Nelson's not young. Maybe Willie, after the concert, could go get some of those infused chips that Scott's been telling us about all morning.
Twice baked.
You're going to be twice baked if you eat them, right?
Weekday mornings 5 to 9.
So I want to talk to you about Michael's Flooring Outlet and why choosing to go to Michael's Flooring Outlet is a really smart decision while you were going through the process of choosing flooring for your residence or for your commercial business. When you are looking for the best, you want to go to Michael's. But when you are looking for the greatest value, you need to go to Michael's Flooring Outlet. They're great staff there. St. Louis family-owned and operated business. Their staff is going to walk you through the process to hear what are your needs, what are your expectations, what is your budget, and then they're going to pair you with exactly what is right for your home, whether it's the best tile that you're looking for, if you're looking for some luxury vinyl plank flooring that is going to fit a small area or a large area, or some Mohawk Smart Strand carpeting that is going to make that coziness feel come into your home. Michael's Flooring Outlet has a solution for you. You can find them online right now. You can see their locations, the number to call, and how to get a free estimate at igotfloored.com.
What's your favorite four-letter word? Chances are you've said it more than a few times dealing with this crazy world we live in. But at Compass Retirement Solutions, our four-letter word of choice is hope. Hope for a better tomorrow. And hope that your retirement plans don't take a back seat. You've watched inflation soar, and maybe your retirement future feels a little uncertain right now. But all hope is not lost. Find out exactly how much risk you're still taking with your investments. Find out how you may be able to save big on taxes. And find out how having a written retirement plan just might give you the hope you've been looking for. Call today to set up a meeting. 314-373-1598. That's 314-373-1598. Compass Retirement Solutions. 314-373-1598. Firm offers insurance services but does not provide tax advice. Investments and services offered through Compass Retirement Group, a registered investment advisory firm in Missouri and Illinois. Investing involves risk, including the potential loss of principal.
If you filed a tax extension in April, don't wait until it's too late to handle your tax issues. Hi, this is Lance Drury with the Drury Law Firm. Every year, thousands of Missourians file extensions when their taxes are due in April. But what people don't know is the extension only moves your deadline to file your return, not to pay your taxes. So if you didn't pay anything back in April, you could now owe taxes plus interest plus penalties. You think you bought yourself time, but really you've just added to the total bill. If this sounds like you, call the Land Story Law Firm today. I am a local tax attorney with an A+ BBB rating, and I will meet with you right away to help handle your tax problems quickly. The deadline to file your return after an extension has already passed, so call the Land Story Law Firm now before it's too late. Remember, if you have IRS issues, you have legal issues. Call Attorney Lance Drury, 314-260-6120, or go to Lance, DRURYlaw.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
2022 is zipping by quickly, and if you haven't taken care of that big exterior painting job for your home or business, CertaPro Painters can help. I've depended on CertaPro for all my painting needs for more than a decade now. They talk about something called the power of pro. That's the power of timeliness, the power of doing it right, the power of minimal disruption. They work to make sure it's a smooth project from start to finish. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated. Schedule your free estimate at CertaPro.com. That's Certa with a C. CertaPro Painters, the power of pro. Check out CertaPro.com today.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
Men suffering from ED or PE? Paramount Men's Medical Center is featuring Restore Wave, the latest in non-invasive ED treatment. You'll see results on your first visit or pay nothing. Call 314-720-8093. That's 314-720-8093.
You're listening to the Annie Frey Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling Studio. Air Comfort Service is hiring licensed journeymen. Don't have a journeyman license? Air Comfort Service will help you get it. Get guaranteed hours year-round and more. Apply online at aircomfortservice.com.
Up-to-the-minute traffic reports, so you don't have to keep looking at your phone. Dependable traffic on 97.1 FM Talk. Driven by Ambassador Midwest Floor Company, the best way to deal with in-home traffic. Experience more at Ambassador Midwest Floor.
Stand on the box, stomp your feet, start clapping. Got a real good feeling, something bad about to happen.
This is the Annie Frey Show. Follow Annie on Twitter at Annie Frey Show.
Just a real quick, little bit of business here. Gary on YouTube's commenting about me growing up in the country and not seeing the ice cream man.
Oh my God.
He says country folk get homemade ice cream, and
That
that's
is
better.
true.
And it is better. Have you ever had homemade ice cream?
No. She's not lying.
Now, my grandmother is from Mississippi, so she would make her own ice cream. But she lived in the city on Ridge.
It is so delicious.
That whole churn thing, I never understood what the salt
Sounds
was for,
good.
but I guess it worked.
I have an ice cream maker. Should we do it one day?
Yes, we should.
Okay, so that will happen. And the other thing is this might be tied for first at least for Best Wiggins America, because D to the C, like Ryan Wiggins, got in trouble with his wife over the break, had to take a phone call and smooth things over. And one of the last Wiggins Americas that we had with Ryan, he too had to smooth things over with his wife amidst some
Such a
conflict.
bulldozer.
Is there anything you want to say?
Such a bulldozer.
No. This is your opportunity to say
God,
how
dig yourself
lovely
deeper.
and wonderful and beautiful she is.
You know what? Yes, she is the wonderful. She's the apple of my eye.
Good.
Yes,
You're doing well.
She's the bounty to my quicker picker upper.
Fair. I love that. All right. Well, I hope that you get to go home tonight.
Oh, it's gonna be fun when I get home because my niece is over there as well, so they're just laying in on her.
You're gonna get home and there's gonna be that orange or that truck parked out front with the orange stripe.
Yeah.
Right. Do not cross.
That's hilarious. All right, let's get to the YouTube poll. Hannah, take it away.
The question today is, how have your political views changed in the last 10 years? The options are more conservative, more progressive, or stayed the same. 60% of the voters said that they are more conservative in the past 10 years. 36% of the people voted that they stayed the same, and 4% said they are more progressive.
Wow. 60% said they're more conservative.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of interesting to me because
Wow.
I thought that we would, what did it say, 36%?
36% stayed the same.
36% stayed the same. I thought that our audience would be higher on that. Brad, what are your thoughts?
To me, my option isn't actually on there. I've gotten more conservative in some areas and more libertarian in others. But
libertarian's not an option.
Yeah, but it's not an option. So I just have to go with more conservative.
You think that you have?
Yeah, ever so slightly, but yeah.
In 10 years, do you think that's because of the world or because of your age?
I think it's because of my experiences. I've being more exposed to things. I was 27.
Yeah, age.
So. What
about you, D to the C?
Probably more conservative.
Yeah.
And, reason being is just that
10 years ago, I'll remind everybody listening, was the 2012, Mitt Romney and Barack Obama, who was running for re-election. And then you think about like conservatives and Mitt Romney right now. It's like not really that's not the bounty to your quicker, bigger, rubber.
We're not talking to one another.
No, but you said you maybe a little more conservative.
Yeah. With the world changing the way that it has or whatnot, that just kind of opened my eyes up to a lot of things like, so, when people say, racism is still alive, I was, back then we were like, as soon as Barack Obama hit presidency, it was like, hey, I didn't know you felt like that. Ooh, okay. Like most of my classmates, I was like, how long have I known you?
Mm-hmm.
And this is now coming out. It's like, okay.
That racism was like the resurgence of the suggestion of it?
And not so much as it being racism, but just the attitudes. Just changed completely. It's like, wow, okay, I really didn't know you felt like that, but okay, it's your decision at the end of the day, but so don't be mad at me when it's my decision.
Do you think that people, at least in your circle, became more prone to racist behavior?
More than likely, yeah. That's kind of how I feel.
After President Obama was elected?
Yeah. You just start seeing it like on social media and everything.
So from 2008 to where we are now, has it gotten worse or has it gotten better?
It's about the same.
Mm-hmm.
And you kind of pick and choose what you look at. A lot of times I got to turn away from it. So just so that I keep sanity. And
hateful people are hateful people.
True indeed.
Yeah. And they can hate for a whole variety of reasons. I'm a big fan of putting all the hateful people in the same category and setting them aside. I don't know if we can do that, but that's what we're trying to do here.
Yeah.
Do you have any quick comments to read?
Yes. Let's see.
10 seconds.
Sorry. Same political view. I feel the scales have changed. Left is way far left. And me, for myself, 10 years ago, I was 10 years old. So I'm way more conservative now.
I'm going to say I've stayed the same, but I've pretty much just been here. Just have more places to talk about it. The Mark Reardon Show coming up next.
Mark Cox here with a question for homeowners. Would you sell your current home if you found your dream home? Well,